fucking hanging too long here. We actually got people in the comments. Hey, everybody, welcome to the fucking Renegade Butcher Show. Different fucking kind of episode tonight. As you can see, we've got guests, we got people. If anybody else really wants to pop on, you're welcome to. But had requests tonight for let's do a different kind of show, just like round table, talking about content creation. Like if you're getting started in this kind of shit. I'm not an expert. This douche over here probably knows way more about it than I do.
You're not?
He makes a whole lot. He makes a whole
I'm
lot.
hitching my wagon. You're not an expert?
I'm not an expert, no. Well, not on content creation. But hey,
I ain't an expert on much else either.
Well, I pretend.
I'd say less of an idiot, but I'm not sure.
Just depends. It just depends. And oh, we got another one in the bucket back down here. Look at that. Hey.
It is.
Wow. All right, let's. Okay,
well, why don't you all talk at the same time?
I know. It's crazy.
We always do.
Usually, what happens.
Yeah.
So hey, anyway, I know we've got a handful of people here who are quote unquote veterans, or actually have some sort of content they put out regularly, and we got a couple of people who are trying to get some stuff started. I know James has got a channel he's had going for a while over here, but it's small start. Kyle just got his started. So I guess let me throw this over. Let's just go around.
I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel, and I was wondering how to get started. Could you guys help me?
Oh, you think so, Brian? Yeah.
Well, I was
going to say let's go around for the. Yeah. Let me do this. The three of us that actually have active YouTube channels. Let's put you up here at the top. So for us, let's go around.
It's segregation.
Nice. And well, so let's go around quick, real quick first for about a 10-minute blurb, each of us, and just maybe not like 10 minutes, just real quick.
Holy shit, 10 minutes?
10 minutes a piece?
That's an hour, dude.
I need you guys to lay out.
I'm eating up a whole podcast with listening to three people talk. No, I'm kidding. No,
Josh is like, I need hours on my Spotify, guys. Just give me 10 minutes each. That'll be 50 minutes, and then we'll talk about the topic after.
Listen, so here's what's going to happen. All three of us are going to go for an hour, and I'm going to stop.
No, we're not going to
do that. Three separate episodes.
Josh, I gotta clip this all up and put out episodes so I can get to episode 50 sooner.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to have to give away that shit. I promise. If I get to episode 50.
The next 11 episodes right now, guys. Okay, this is episode 1. In 20 minutes, we're starting episode 2. I hope you guys are.
If I get to 1,000 subscribers before I hit episode 50.
Come on, guys!
I'll give away 17 Spice of the Month clubs. He gets to 997. He's like, episode 50, boom, done.
Didn't make it. Screw y'all.
Done. No, guys. All right. So, really briefly, then I guess I shouldn't say 10 fucking minutes. In a short little, Brian, we're gonna start with you. If you were starting out today, putting out a podcast, YouTube, whatever you were doing, what would be your first steps? How would you get going? And we'll just go across, and then we can answer some questions from these guys.
What would I do now?
Yeah,
I'd start
in 2023. If you started all over, how would you start today?
Detected at your back door.
Oh fuck!
Ooh.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies
I need one of those.
Back door.
Today, if I were to start, well, the thing that I didn't do was start for 2 years.
Right.
I started and I just kept going. I've done pretty much every weekday other than a sick break for a couple of weeks when I couldn't even get out of bed and some travel, holidays, things like that. Every morning for a half an hour at least for over a year now. But it was 2 years before I started. So I have 375 odd episodes right now. I would have 2 years more than that. And the growth that I've seen in myself and my ability after a year and a half, if I had started 2 years before this, where I would be right now is where I want to be now, not where I am now. So start, just do it. You suck. And I don't feel bad saying that. When you start something, you fucking suck at it. You do. That's just you don't know what you're doing, and you're not going to know what you're doing until you do it and see what works and see how to do it and figure out a workflow and figure out how you want to do it and what you like and what your style is. You don't know that until you do it. So just do it and figure it out. Nobody's fucking watching. Nobody
And
cares.
if they are,
People
they'll
that
get
are
over
watching don't care if it sucks. They don't. They'll probably like it, and they'll probably say things. Some people will say shitty things, and some people will say great things. You know they're lying. You know your shit sucks, and they're trying to pump you up, and they're trying to make you feel good. So feel good about it that you're doing it.
Right. See, that was always
like
the thing I
watching
said.
a super polished. Oh, go ahead.
That was I always tried to explain to my wife because we don't have cable. I just watch YouTube and whatever streaming services we have. But like I've always said to my wife, it's like there are these huge creators, especially like in like somewhat of the meat, but in like hunting and like just DIY stuff, that it's like they've gotten so huge that now they depend on it and they can't like post certain things or do certain stuff. And I've always said the best YouTube videos are the ones that randomly pop up, that it's a guy who has never held a camera in his life, but he knows exactly what he's doing. And it
go look at the
videos.
Go look at the videos of the bigger guys now, like the Wrangle stars, the Jack's Mirko. Go watch Jack's videos from like 8 years ago, 10 years ago.
Go listen to his podcast in the Jetta days.
Listen to his podcast in the Jetta days, and you'll laugh. You'll be like, so he was having a meltdown the other day on that live because he couldn't figure out the screen shares.
We're laughing.
And when he started, he would just lose his mind while he was driving.
Yep. It's great. But see, I personally, as somebody who's watching somebody else's content, that's what I connect with, because it's like, this is real. This guy's here really doing it. It's nitty gritty. I don't want perfect. I don't want polished. I don't want to watch somebody who's sitting here and has their $500,000 editing team to make this all look nice. I want to hear from the regular guy who's out there just doing his shit.
I fell into that by default.
Right.
The not editing, the one take and go. One, because I was working full time when I started it. And two, I was very limited on data in a month. So I had to make the most of my data. So it went live to 7 different places, and it got downloaded as an audio file. I didn't even download the video from StreamYard, and it went up to my RSS feed and then distributed everywhere. So basically I had a video upload, one audio download, and one audio upload, and no editing time because I had to go to work. I did everything I needed to do between 6 and 7:15, and then I went and worked for at least 8 hours after I was done. So it was out of necessity, and now it's kind of my deal. Like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with mistakes. I'm okay with staying stupid shit. It is
Editing
what
gives
it
you
is,
an
man.
excuse
It is what it is.
to not. Editing gives you an excuse to not do it because you want it all to be too perfect, and you won't put it up until it's perfect enough. So you never put content out, and I did that for fucking half a year.
Well, and I was one of those audio guys back in the 90s. I did all the audio, the car stereos and all that. I can tell when you're cutting your audio.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't care how good you are. I mean, I do. I mean, obviously there's people that can do it where you can't tell. But if you're a podcaster editing your shit yourself, you can hear it. It sounds fake. I'm sorry. Sorry. It does. It does.
Yep. Even me editing just these 3 videos, I've been watching videos and go, oh, that was an edit. Like, oh, that was one.
Yeah.
But
you've done
and the more you do it, the
what
more
were you hiding?
But it's like even small stuff that I never thought of, because it's like I'm just doing it on my phone right now, and it's
the
like
flashes, the non-normal verbal cadence.
Yeah.
Right. Well, with me, it's like I was looking at it. I was doing the pig fence yesterday. There would be moments in time, because I time lapse a lot of it, because it's like, again, you're not going to stand there for an hour and watch me do this. But it's like there were moments where
I might, depending on the camera view.
Right. There's a lot of ass shots in that last one. But there would be
Brian's like, no, I want the real time now.
Right. There would be moments where I'd walk off screen and like go and grab a tool or something, and it would be like 10
show
seconds
what your daddy made you.
Right. 10 seconds where I'm just not in frame. And it's like, I'm not going to leave that in the time lapse. There's no point.
You might
So
as
can,
well.
like,
You might as well. No. There's some of those high end, high dollar people that my husband watches all the time on mechanics and stuff. They walk away all the time. The guy's got millions of followers and millions of viewers on a, you know, his I can't think of what his name is. Musty. No, honestly, God, that's his name.
Hey, if you got millions of followers, your name's Musty. What are
no,
he's
he's like up in New England somewhere, and he works on cars and stuff. And his videos go up about 9 o'clock on Sundays because he watches them after I leave for church. And the guy, I mean, he walks away all the time. You see him scoot his little tripod. You see, and in 10 minutes after his video goes up, he's got, 5,000 or 8,000 views already, know, because he's got such a huge audience. And it doesn't, depending on what you do. Now, my lives are just like this. I'm sitting here. Right. So I don't really care. But when I do a video, it's going to be cooking or something. And so there's going to have to be, like when I do the one I'm getting ready to work on, I'm not going to sit there and watch the refrigerator for 24 hours while something cools. Right. I'm either going to have it pre-staged. I'm going to fix something and have it ready.
Live cam.
Yeah, or I'm going to piece it together.
The bread dough rise with Robin Holstein.
There you go.
I think we
I
play gospel music in the fridge overnight to make it rise up a little higher.
It's like when a giraffe's about to have a baby in a zoo somewhere. It's just
it's reaching.
No, I don't. But yeah, I mean,
when you tip with lightning to adjust the room temperature.
But I have sent
ruined my bread.
Playing with Clapper and playing with TikTok and some of those other ones. I have set it up and just let it run while I'm letting the birds out or feeding them or whatever. I mean, that's like really dull. I mean, nobody's excited about that.
I think
but you're right. Just start. And I set up a YouTube channel years before, and I had like 1 or 2 or 3 little things around the house, and I just didn't get into it very much. And I only just actually started trying to, and I'm not as good as the rest of the guys there, but I've only started trying to do this like last fall. So I just had yesterday was my 54th podcast live because I do 2 a week, but I don't know. I've got like, 70 or 80 videos on Rumble. And I've got nobody wants to hear
of the Renegade Butcher Show.
There you go.
Yeah, you're way ahead of me.
but people listen and watch your stuff. I've got like 30 subscribers on YouTube. It's just pathetic.
The thing is, it's
all right. My channel's like 9 years old.
Yeah, you've been doing this shit forever. But it depends on the topic. It depends on where and how you're marketing it. I think
nobody wants to hear what I've got to say. I just have the urge to say it. So
the other thing though is I took a different approach right away early on from the beginning of how I market the podcast versus just, I'm out there building a community of people too, along with all of that. And I've been pushing that, and I've been watching like what this guy does and what Jack does. And I've been trying to look at what does work in my industry and in the podcasting industry from the get-go. I'm not saying that I'm like super successful or anything like that. I'm far from that. But
what's K-Bog asking over there about the goal, the plan?
Speed up section 8, or did anyone make a plan on what if there was a goal, what the end was?
Right.
What was my goal? I had incremental goals that changed as it grew. I had a goal of getting a video up and getting a video that had 100 views, and then I had a goal of getting 100 subscribers, and I had a goal of getting 250 subscribers. I had a goal of getting 1,000 views on a video, then 500 subscribers, and then 1,000 subscribers. It's all about incremental goals, where you're at, what the next step is, what the next, maybe my goal is I want 20, average 20 live viewers for my show in the morning.
Well, I think we've been talking about 2 different things kind of here, and a lot of us are doing a hybrid of them, which I think it's important to talk about the difference. So you've got your guys who you put up video content, and that's going to be your stuff like your YouTube videos, your shorts, your TikToks and all that stuff. And there's going to be some type of editing with stuff like that. You're doing a demonstration type thing. It's a fairly polished product. You're talking about one thing and it's going up there and it's to be rewatched. Obviously,
Right.
my lives are going to be rewatched, but the live stream and the podcasting is more of a conversational style.
Right.
That is more of the I'm talking to you. We have guests on. We're doing interviews, that sort of thing. And all three of us up top here are doing some combination of both of those things, but they are two different things. So, you know, as far as the editing goes, when it comes to like my podcast, the audio side, I don't ever want to dick with the editing. I mean, I may add an audio clip here or there when I upload the audio side, but I like ripping the lives and just going with that. That's my style. It doesn't have to be the only way to do it, but that's the only way I'll get it done. And I know that for a fact. If I'm putting out like an educational YouTube video or I'm doing like my spice videos and things like that, there's some editing that has to happen. But I'm also making myself get in a routine of I know I'm doing, I do this video every time or on, you know, every Tuesday. I have this style video I do on this time. I have this style video I do on this time. And maybe I'll throw some other stuff in here and there as I go. But if I don't have a routine, that's the biggest thing for me. If you listen to my podcast for the good 6-8 months there of me just barely occasionally putting something out, and it was half dog shit when I did, it's because I never sat down and made myself keep to a schedule to do it. So I think if you want to do something like that, where you want to release like a podcast type thing, or you want a regular live conversational style content, you've got to set a schedule, not only for yourself so you'll do it, but so your guests know when the fuck to listen to you.
Right.
When to expect stuff from you. And that's what my downfall was. Really, I was bad at it at first. And I had to actually make myself this year to do it. So, well, but you have a schedule. We know
for the lives
is going to go right
for the lives. I don't for the pre-recorded stuff, and I've got to work on that. I've never been good with that kind of.
That's why I keep my pre-recorded shit to a minimal, because I know what I can and can't do. You have to budget your time to what you're able to do, and you don't have to do like 3-4 freaking lives and 2 videos or whatnot a week either. Don't if you're getting started with this, don't feel like you have to jump in and do that either. No. But find out what works for you. And the other thing is, this is all social media shit that I found, and I've heard the same thing from everybody here, from Tim, from Jack. It's if you lose momentum, you're dead in the water. If you stop and you have a routine and you keep going and you're doing this thing, and then you just take 3 or 4 weeks off because I don't feel like it, and you come back to it, it's like starting from zero.
Right.
You know? So don't pick something that is sustainable that you can do and do that. And if you can work some extras in, great. But don't set yourself up to fail by biting off more than you can chew right off the bat.
Right.
Oh, that's where I'm at. I'm working 14 hours a day, going through some pretty heavy crap right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, when I got home, I texted you and said, yeah, I'm interested in coming on. And I sat down and I straight up fell asleep. Didn't even mean to. And then I woke up 20 minutes before we started this. And I was like, okay, I'll come on. Yep. But, I mean, when I'm working 14 hours a day, never knowing what my schedule is going to be, never knowing where I'm going to be held up, and never knowing if I'm going to have my kids, I'll drop 4 or 5 videos that are completely unedited. I'll just bang them out one day. Boom, boom, boom. You get 3 videos. And then I'm radio silent for a little while. Not because I'm avoiding it. I have ideas. I don't have time.
Right. No, the kids are the juggle for sure. Like,
put them on a list. Just put them on a list. You get to them when you get to them.
Well, you can always upload a video and either set it to private or to release later on. You could sit down one afternoon and make 4 or 5 videos and then schedule them to come one out every other day. And you just know you're going to have constant videos released until you're ready to get some more in the can.
Right.
Well, the thing that I don't get is like, why does it matter? If I can bang out 3 videos in a day, why not release them all as I get them done?
Because algorithm picks them up and spreads them out at a different rate.
That and it's like watching your favorite television show. You know when it's coming on, so you know to sit down in front of the TV and tune it to that.
I am
so they know
television show.
Right. Well, if you think about it though, if you
but the point
from the side of a consumer.
Yeah, James. The thing is it's not whether you watch television. It's who your audience is going to be and how they're going to behave, and the average person still watches some form of a show.
Hey James, when do my podcast air?
Your podcast goes at 7 a.m. for me.
every morning, and you know to expect it. And if you misses a day,
Like
everybody goes, "Wait,
Saturdays.
it must be Saturday because Brian's show's not." Why is Brian's show not on
Well, you
at
see,
6 a.m.?
that works. I woke up this morning and went and looked at my phone, and I was like, it's
You
Saturday.
don't realize how well it
Like,
works until
You
you
don't
miss
think
it.
about it.
You don't
Oh,
realize.
when I got sick and I couldn't do my show, it was painful for me
Oh,
because
sure.
I knew I was breaking a habit people had accumulated over 9 months.
Right.
That's how I
and
knew
I
he was really
Fucked
sick.
it up.
Like, dude,
Well, I mean, I was. I couldn't get out of bed, so it was.
right?
It was. I couldn't. I had that brain fog too, where I couldn't even put a sentence together. So that was really good podcasting. Well, the day I got up and tried to do it, and the dog
Right.
puked on the floor, and I was like, can't even fucking think. It was a 4-minute episode, and I uploaded it as an episode.
So think about it this way, though. Like this has been going on for the longest time. You think of authors. You've got a series that's coming out. That's why a cliffhanger works. That's why movies with sequels work, because we watch it, we think about it, we listen to it, and then we're waiting. That anticipation builds. We're waiting for the next one to come out.
Marvel
If
Universe.
it all came out, if a big series released all their movies at the same time, they wouldn't do nearly as well.
No, you get bored.
Dude,
with it halfway through.
drop that Nest link in the comments. I'm curious. I got it open on my phone. And I'm just testing to see how it works with just my computer volume and my voice. I put it in the private chat.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Let me see here.
If
You're
somebody
trying
that's
to,
on Nostr could just click that link and check out what it sounds like over there. I can't hear it. Otherwise, it'll backfeed, I'm sure.
popping over. All right, cool. Yeah, if anybody wants to test that.
And then K-Bonk wants to know about marketing more.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah. So, well, as far as the marketing side of it, I mean, I'm not even going to say or pretend I'm like a marketing expert in any way, but I think you should, if you're going to put some kind of content out, come up with what is it? What is your brand? Create that brand and stick to it and promote that idea. Stick to that idea. Now, here I am on a butcher podcast talking with a bunch of guys about content creation because I had to open up my sphere of what I do a little bit just so I had enough content to do. But it's related. It is all related.
Right.
As far as the actual marketing itself, you have to realize this isn't just about you putting something out there and having people go out and like it and send you YouTube comments. You have to build a community. You have to build connections. You have to network. So if you notice, when I shifted gears and changed stuff back in January, and I decided if I'm going to do this, I need to take it serious. What was one of the things I really did? I buckled down and really started focusing on the Telegram group because that's where I had the most traction. And I focused more on my TikTok stuff because it's where I had the most growth. So I focus on what does work and I experiment and I try those other things. But at the same time, then I'm taking my other stuff that I'm doing and nesting that in and combining it so that everything else that I'm doing, that I'm selling, whether it's local stuff, whether it's my seasoning projects, whether it's other podcasts that I'm on, it's all pointing back to one thing, back to the brand, back to the podcast, which it's all nested together into one seamless sort of deal. You don't want to confuse people. If you have, and I did this at first too, I'd have 4 different businesses with a bunch of different names and all these different projects. This is my consulting business. This is my seasoning stuff. This is my deer business. And it's just, people can't keep track of that shit. They can barely keep track of their own life. So yeah.
In the kitchen.
Pick a point to focus on and market that and build all of your stuff around that.
Yep. Bring them here, please.
Well, I think that's my thing. I'm not worried about having content. But that's just what I'm doing. Like, I'm doing a channel about everything I'm doing during the day, whether it's between working in the shop or working on the farm. Like,
right. Well, that's why I changed it from being the Liberty Meat Chat and Liberty Meat Podcast to the Renegade Butcher Show, because it's about me. I'm going to talk about me because I'm a butcher. But I can also talk about whatever the hell else. If I want to talk about anarchy, if I want to talk about content creation, great. It's easy to pigeonhole yourself. That's important.
What if you want to talk about buttholes?
I could totally do a podcast about buttholes if we really wanted to.
Oh, you definitely could do a podcast
We've been
about
talking
buttholes.
about them all day.
I was going to say, no pun intended.
If you want to hear about
you and Vicky
buttholes,
have touched on it a couple times.
join all these buttholes in the Telegram group, and I'm sure the topic.
He's never touched my butthole.
Oh, we got a new joiner down here.
Oh, Crusher.
I'm still mad you didn't go Thanos. It's the eyes. It's the eyes. Oh
Very
shit!
good husky.
But there we go. Well, yeah. So I mean,
How big is he now,
All right.
James? How much does he weigh?
I'm not weighing him, but he's like more than doubled in size.
I'd say 40, 50 coming up.
Yeah,
No,
he's
maybe
got to
not.
be what?
Nah,
He's
like 35.
He's like
30 pounds,
9
yeah.
weeks.
His head looks way bigger when you didn't have the body on screen. His head's just huge.
Yeah.
I mean, his head looks bigger than yours. I know he's closer to the camera.
He's closer, yeah. It's on the
He's
iPad.
cute. He's got really cool face markings.
He's gonna, everybody says I'm not gonna have a problem breeding him. He's gonna
still shitting in the truck.
no,
Dude, just make sure you buy him dinner first.
right.
Yeah, Canadian Farm Stay down here. Yep. Lips and assholes.
Kyle, does that dog look a lot like your dad? James was figuring he wouldn't have trouble breeding him.
Sounds about right.
No, the scary thing is my dad looks basically like me, just aggressively gay. Like that's it. Like
Oh, just like you.
So just like you.
Just like you.
way worse.
You
Is
walked
he
right
really?
into that.
Is
Right
he
into
really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So I've
Yours beard.
I've actually gone down this road a couple times because I worked at a gay bar for a week back when I was young in
I
my
got a story
20s.
after that.
Somebody needed a break and they needed to have a fill in, and I worked with them in a different bar.
Right.
Really cool guy. He's like, dude, will you cover my shifts for a week or two? I got to go out of town, and if I don't have my shifts filled, I lose my job. Yeah, whatever. I mean, this is back when I was going to raves. I had like earrings and like all over in my ears and my nipples pierced. I was in like good
ouch.
shape. Dude, I never got better tips in my life.
So
Okay.
when I was 16, so my dad left when I was like 3, but he was still kind of in the picture, one of those things. When I was 16, like at the point where you're trying to learn life lessons and figure out what you're going to do with your life. So he was working at a country bar, just a straight country bar. And he's like, I get tips nonstop. I swear to God, it's great. I just get tips all the time. Granted, he is from Rhode Island. Doesn't talk like that. So anyway, he goes, listen, when you're in college, a great thing to do, just like I'm doing, go work at a gay bar, and it makes life so much easier. You'll get a ton of tips, and you don't have to worry about the distraction of like hooking up with people at work. I'm like,
just
Well, I
having
mean,
guys
okay, I'm
after
worried
you.
about algebra. All right, that's fine.
Oh,
Like,
dude, I definitely had my eyes on a lot of the clientele. It just didn't happen to be the ones that had their eyes on me.
right. Oh, listen. At age 21, I was like, man, there are no gay bars up here for me to make quick cash. This is ridiculous. Like, I was like,
So you had to go to a
Well,
truck
you know-
stop, didn't you?
You know, God. Well, I one of my cousins was gay, but because he passed away years ago with lung disease. But and everybody knew it, and he didn't fit that limp-wristed stereotype. But you know, I used to wait tables, and all of the guys that were waiters in the places, they always made better tips than the women, always. So it wouldn't necessarily have to be a gay bar. It's just you. I mean.
Well, that's because we have more
crazy.
personality than the women.
Probably, well, more than me. I'm not. I can wait tables, but I'm not a gifted waitress. My
It
sister
depends a
is,
lot
man.
on the
She
venue
can-
because I can tell you right now, you're not going to get more tips if you're in a strip club if you're a guy than if you're a woman.
Wow.
But it really depends.
Well, it depends on
Oh, okay.
it depends on what you're getting tips on.
it's also, it's
That's
also
true.
like, as a parent now, just a funny reference to think back of like, probably not going to pass that nugget of knowledge on to my kids.
Well,
One
no,
of
I
them
mean
things.
it is something to be wary of, though.
Right.
The opportunity is there. Just because you work at a gay bar doesn't make you gay, and even if you're gay, who gives a shit? It's
Exactly.
Wow,
2023.
things are a lot different now. I mean, it's whether you're gay or not. But it's a lot different out there.
Hey Josh, didn't those banished book from the Bible, wasn't he all about that shit in those, and that's why they took him out?
Dude,
What?
The Apocrypha? I don't know. I really didn't read anything about.
I've been
gay bars
seeing
in there.
TikToks about that left and right in this whole Bud Light controversy.
Oh no, there's a lot of. I mean, you don't want to go. I mean, you guys don't want to get into that, but there's a lot of.
I was gonna say, man, this
Open that
content
door,
creation
Brian.
podcast took a dark
Here
turn.
we go.
And he shows up.
Freezes mid beer sip. That's
Yeah,
good.
that's his punishment
shit.
for
Well,
making fun.
somehow we ended up
Brian
talking about
froze.
getting tips working at a gay bar. So I think that's a good way to segue into. Hey, though, speaking of tips, since we've all been fucking around with this Nostr thing and all the fun stuff and Telegram and all the value for value, but what do you guys think overall? What's been your experience on the impact of combining like the social media network type stuff with your content creation? I mean, is that important? Is that a part of it? How does it tie in for you? I mean, go Brian. That way.
What is it important? Yeah.
Could you do what you're doing now without it? Would you have the same show or would
without
it be
social media?
without your community that you built, building that community, the value for value aspect?
I mean, that was always my focus, was building the community. I look at my analytics on all my content daily. I look at my podcast downloads. I will look at my YouTube video views. I look at all my affiliate stuff. I look at everything. The thing that matters most to me is how many one-on-one contacts I have with people that are a member of my community, whether that is a like or a comment or an interaction on Facebook or Nostr or Twitter or MeWe or in Telegram. I gauge my day on my interaction with my community.
Yeah.
If I build that and focus on that, everything else will take care of itself if I'm doing it right.
And I don't even dig into analytics nearly the way that you and a couple other guys do. Like I just don't give a fuck. But the community aspect of it does. And in fact, for me, it's almost reversed. It's like the podcast. I get more excited when the podcast drives the community growth and me helping other people than me doing all the community shit, building my podcast and my audience.
Well,
like, I was way more excited when
thing.
Kyle found his way into here because he listened to my podcast randomly. Then I got some more podcast listeners because I happened to go and give somebody some advice. To me, that's just like, that is the prize.
See, I know I can get more podcast listens, and I know I can get more video views if I go on Jack's show. I have plenty I could talk about on Jack's show. I could fill out the form 17 different ways between, just philosophy or the homestead or the RV thing or the transition or the cemetery thing. Like, I have things I could go talk about for an hour. Like, I could make it happen. I don't want those listens right now. I'm building my community.
Absolutely.
And those listens are great, and it is what needs to happen eventually. But at some point, yes, I'll shift gears and try to grow different channels. But right now, I want to grow that organically. People that are in my community talking to other people finding my podcast, listening to it, and deciding to join the community, not just being a guest on a huge podcast and people check it out. And yeah, obviously that's the growth pattern in the end. But right now I'm still focused on building that core community.
I'll gauge more stuff off of how many active people are in Telegram that are actually communicating with me than anything to do with my podcast.
Oh, I love
and it's
Telegram.
not even just number go up in the Telegram group either, because we've all been in groups where there's 2,000-3,000 people and it's a total shit show. And it's just spam, it's just dumb shit, it's just the same fear porn over and over again, and there's no actual active good discussion. Don't get me wrong, you get in my group, there's a lot of bullshit that goes on. We'll get a bunch of gifts and all kinds of stuff, but everybody's having fun.
Never.
Oh no! But actual discussion.
Heterodox there
subgroup?
says, hey, a good comment that Heterodox says there needs to be more permaculture style podcast.
Yes.
Permaculture is hard to talk about without visual aids.
Same as butchery. It's a hard topic. It's a difficult topic to really run a podcast style show around.
Well, that's
And
like,
Basically,
every property.
basically, you're talking about you're going to talk about permaculture. You're going to talk about design science. You can
Yep.
talk about design science based permaculture based design science. You can apply that to anything in the life. So.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of
is
them
just
out
a
there,
lifestyle
really.
There are
podcast, a
some, yeah.
permaculture design
Yeah.
podcast. I think Jack's podcast is a pretty permaculture design podcast.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's going to be hard for you to run a podcast solely around it. That's why most of the guys who are doing it have something else that they touch on, or that's one topic that they nest in.
I mean, Paul Wheaton kind of covered it.
Mhm.
Right.
well,
I
And
think
then-
that's
and-
why-
the Furbies podcast that kind of
Oh yeah,
covers it all.
that pretty nails it down. Well, touching
And
back on
this-
what
And this
Go ahead.
group of people, we've all got something different anyway. Well, a couple of you are butchers, but you
Right,
know,
fine.
it's
There's diversity.
you don't want
Yeah, but you got a
everybody.
gay one and a
you
straight
gotta-
one. So
Yeah,
Right,
I'll let you
there's
guys
that.
figure out which is which.
Which one? Yeah.
We'll put
We
you in a
switch.
dark
We
room
switch.
and you'll figure it out.
Yeah, you will.
It's not a pig.
Wait a
Somebody's
minute.
gonna leave with less sausage, I'm guessing.
Listen, I'm not gay, but I will not lose gay chicken. Flat out.
Oh,
I'm
I'll
gonna
lose. Well, touching back on what I was saying a little bit though about the community thing, and yeah, it may be a little bit of a crazy time, but actually active communication and shit. There's not a day goes by where somebody doesn't need help with something, whether it's butchery
Yeah.
or not. It could be something
Right.
completely else, where a question gets answered, and maybe not by me. It's just it's a great community of people, and I'd rather see that community of actual people. Nice Fat Tire Ale. Nice Fat Tire is good. An actual community of real people, the right people, not just a big number of people. The right people is what you really need. It doesn't matter. Oh, good old Yingling.
I
It
miss
doesn't
it.
matter
I miss
how
it.
many people you have on your YouTube channel either. What matters is how many people are actively following your shit, communicating with you, and listening and sharing your shit. Quality.
Right.
You want quality, not just quantity.
Well, that's the biggest reason I started mine is like, so we go like going back to talk about like when you guys were saying like what your goals
Christ,
were.
dude, you got a Bud Light
Don't
in there
drink
too
that one.
while you're at
Don't
it?
drink that one.
that's a bush. Lord, son.
Like my main goal with putting stuff out is I want my content to be something I would watch. Like that's the main thing. Like
If that's
that
not your
fencing video
goal,
we put
then you're doing it wrong. I'll say that right off the
Right.
bat. If you wouldn't watch your own content, then just give up now.
out. But it's like
You
it's like
watch
that
your own
fencing-
content? God, I can't stand it.
But it's like the fencing
No,
video I
do.
put
I
up.
watch
It's
all
like
my videos multiple times.
Yeah.
We
It's
have
like
a
I'm
hard
my
time
biggest
sometimes,
critic
too.
for sure.
who's really going to watch like 20 minutes of a dude time lapsing putting up a fence? Probably not a lot of people, but I hope there's 2 or 3 people out there that see how I stretched it without a tractor or did something
Right.
like that isn't like the norm. This is how you do it. This is how it's always done. And this is how it will always be done. It's like, yeah, sometimes you got to MacGyver some shit and get it going. And it's like, be practical. It might not be the way to do it. It might not be the best way to do it, but it's mine. Take that with it as you will. Like, that's kind of how I look at it.
There's no right way to do anything on a farm.
Right.
Every freaking farmer is an engineer. We
There's
are
always
always
one
Yeah.
thing you can do right on a farm. Eat pepperoni pizza.
Oh, good
Oh,
God.
Lord.
Here we go.
We're not doing it. Don't
We're
break
not,
it in.
he's like, we're not doing
Leave
that
it at the
again.
door. Leave it at the door.
I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
Well, so now I'm spending a lot of time following you 5, and
I'm sorry.
I know,
Yeah,
but
I
the thing is
apologize.
I found all of you through Brian,
Mhm.
and I found Brian through Toolman Tim on their after parties, the Fireside Freedom or the after
Right.
parties. And it took me a while to find Brian because he wasn't saying his name clearly. I thought since he was doing the RV thing, it was the Lost Project.
Well, sometimes.
I can't. I
Most-
usually slur because I can't talk straight.
But I started with Jack to find Tim, and Jack got too big. And now Tim's kind of actually getting too big. And I keep going, to the newer channels, to the smaller groups, because it's going to sound stupid, but there's more quality. There's more quality interactions, and you guys know some of my story. My interactions all day are with you.
Things can get lost in the noise. I get you.
Yeah.
I do.
You know,
I mean,
yeah.
I hope I get big enough that you want to leave, but you don't.
Right.
Well, I mean, I still go to Tim's. I
Right,
still
I
go
know.
to Tim's, and I'm still in Tim. In fact, most of Tim's Telegram group is us four.
But the thing is, here's the thing, James. My group could have 2,000 people in it. And if I see your name come up or Josh's name come up or Kyle's name come up or Tim's name come up, those are names that I see because your names were there when there were 5 names.
Yeah.
When there were
Right.
10 names, when there were 100 names. The people that were there at the beginning, this community I'm building as I grow to 100 followers, those are your core people. What is the number of people that you can remember at one time? Was it 200 and
250?
218 or something like that?
Yeah.
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 Yep.
So
Well,
once
I
I get
think-
to 100, then it's time to go on Jack's show because I have my 100.
Well,
I
You have
will
your- you have your
absolutely
base.
interact with everyone that comes in there, but those quality 100 people, those first 100 that took an interest when you sucked,
Right.
yeah.
those
Well, I think
are my
communities
people.
will naturally sort of bifurcate over time with things like that too. If you look at, say, the Survival Podcast channel, there's a lot going on over there, but you don't see me over there very much. I'm on his expert council. You don't see me over there chatting it up very much because you can't keep track of what's going on. And it's
No,
just
you're
too
on
much
there. He
noise.
talks
I'm
about
there.
well,
No,
you're
I mean,
there.
in his
Oh no,
Telegram,
in his channel.
his
Yeah.
Telegram channel with like
Oh, I'm
2,000
not
people
on
there.
his Telegram channel.
Yeah, I'll pop in there now and then, but I can't keep track of that shit all day. I've got too much going on to be able to keep track of a huge channel like that, and it's just too much noise. Every once in a while I pop on, and most of the time I get pissed off because I have to tell somebody to shut up with the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Nothing
I had
against
to
Jack's
stop.
channel at
I
all,
had
but
to- I
it
had
just get to be too much noise. But the other thing I'll notice about stuff like that is when something grows to that size, a lot of times that huge group becomes the broadcast channel. And then
Right.
that subgroup of people who are hanging out and bullshitting or whatnot, that doesn't go away necessarily. That just may go to another channel that not necessarily everybody else has access to. Because as somebody who, as you grow, I know, Brian's, as you grow as a channel and everything like that, and you have more connections and more people looking to you and more people talking to you, you only have so much bandwidth for what's going on. Your people who are close, that close friendship, they don't go away. But you ask Jack, if Tim or Nicole or somebody wants to get a hold of him, they'll just fucking text him or they'll have a chat amongst themselves.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. There is a place where that gets too big, but it's priorities.
And it's like Tim's group. I mean, like Brian was just talking about wanting the 100 true fans and stuff like that. I'm one of Tim's patch subscribers, and he doesn't even have 100 of those yet. Last he talked about it.
Right.
You know, and I'm in there, and it's like I already feel like I've been a guest on his show twice now, and I'm always in his Telegram, but he's already big enough where I'm like, I'm getting lost in the shuffle here. I'm a big part of his Telegram chat, like I am yours and Brian's.
Yeah.
And even Robin's. I'm in Robin's quite a bit too. And my chat in Robin's chat is far different than my chat in your chat.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yes.
think that's a good thing. I would hate for all of our chats to be an echo chamber of the same
yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Now, don't get me
you're right.
wrong. There are times it gets confusing because conversations will just flow between multiple different groups
Yeah.
because we've got all the same people in there. And I
I
guarantee you,
forget
people
which
who
one I'm
aren't-
in sometimes.
I
The-
guarantee
And
the people who aren't in all of them are like, "What the hell is just going on?"
Yeah,
right
when they-
now?
Oh,
Like-
it has to be so insane.
Especially
like-
with the Nostr stuff recently is
Oh,
because
God.
somebody will start it over here and I forget that it's we'll say Tim's. I forget that this is Tim's
Always
chat, and I'm
Nostr-
just keep going like it's
Nostr is
the
exactly why Lightning for Liberty started because a year ago, not a year ago, but probably like 6-8 months ago, what's happening with Nostr right now was happening with Bitcoin Lightning.
yeah.
And me and Brian were so like, holy shit, mind blown, all the things that this enables. And every chat became about that.
Yeah.
And it ate everything. So
Yeah.
we're like, all right, so we started out Lightning for Liberty and concentrated it kind of there. So I'm like, now we're at that point too, where we're like, let's rein it in and
Rein
move
it
the
back
Nostr
in, yeah.
chat
Yeah.
where Nostr goes. We can
Yeah.
still chat about it otherwise over here, but there's a place for this, guys. If you want answers, go over there. And it's great when things kind of take off, but yeah, it's I guess where I'm going with that is when you're a content creator and on top of that you're also building the community aspect, naturally you also have to kind of become a leader. So that means it's on you to kind of keep things together and organized in a way that fits you and your style and your audience and your community. It's like, I'm never going to be the guy that like, here's 17 different rules you have to follow or I'm going to boot you. I just feel like, don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. And
yeah, I've only got a couple, but
you might as well just boot me when you start
say,
saying rules. You might as well just boot me.
Fuck that, exactly. Oh yeah, tell a bunch of anarchists here's all the rules, right? Yeah, but you know there are people that's how they run their shit, and I get it. You get in their group. I don't hang out in those groups.
You kind of have to.
That's why I'm not in Discord. I don't like the layout. I don't like having to go and say, oh, I want to talk about homesteading this minute, and then I got to click over to a different channel to talk about whatever. Like, yeah, if I want to talk about buttholes in the homesteading group, are they going to let me talk about it?
Cannibalism.
Cannibalism. Does that go in the butchery group or in the homesteading group or the?
And it, right, and it's the one of
government
those
secrets group. There you go.
Great that it's loose and it really doesn't kind of just matter that much. There's a certain
great
level
that your
of
butthole's loose. Is that what you just said?
Maybe. Hey, K-Bonk said he wants to tap us all. K-Bonk wants to tap us all. Anyway, he's got a problem. He's considering.
Tap it, man. Let's tap that ass.
Shoot that down there in the comments, K-Bonk. We'll do the best that we can. Well, anyway, that being said, though, you two down there, I know we've been chatting back and forth. Do you guys have any like really pressing, relevant questions on trying to get your shit going?
I would suggest plastic surgery for both of them.
Well, I mean, probably for me too, honestly.
Well, they called me gargoyle in the Marine Corps for my stunning good looks.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough in the Marines at that.
Let's just say there's a reason that both Kyle and I have beards, I guarantee you.
I was getting ready to say James is going to have to grow a beard if he's going to hang around with you guys. It's just
no beard.
The recipe for success.
I can't do it.
You can't grow a beard, or you just can't keep it?
I can't handle it. After 2 days, it's got to go.
Well, you got to get past the third,
I think 3-4 days without shaving, and then I'm like, no, it's got to go.
Once you relax, you just it's all about, just you got to go with the flow a little bit. It's going to hurt at first. It's going to hurt at first.
I'll push out
like that with my hair now.
I'll push out while you push it.
Just breathe and relax. It gets easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord! Could it be Satan?
There's the church lady.
All right, so Kyle, you just started a YouTube channel. You've got 3 videos up now. All right, where are you going with it, and what's your goal? What do you think?
Again, my goal is just kind of like I'm always doing something constantly, and it's like, do people want to watch it? I don't know, maybe, but the thought is I'm doing things that maybe 90% of the population doesn't do. So I'm either shooting for that 10% that does, or possibly snagging a couple of the 90 that is like, oh, that's cool. Somebody actually does that.
No, dude, you're gonna gain the 10 that do it. Seeing if you do it different, you're gonna gain the 20 that are thinking about it because they're trying to figure out how to do it. And you're going to gain the 10% that wish they could do it, but never have the balls to fucking think about it.
And they'll be the ones that tell you you're doing it wrong.
About 5%.
Well, yeah, the 10% that don't have the balls to ever do it on their own, have no intention ever doing it on their own, they're going to be the ones that say, you just did that wrong. And you're going to be like...
They'll be the Eeyores that are like, this will never work. It's pointless. It's dumb.
After the mix.
Yep.
After the mix.
Right.
Which is okay.
So you're going to get a shitload of people that don't necessarily aren't you,
right,
for better lack of a better explanation, that aren't you, that 10% you're talking about that are interested in doing the same thing you're doing. You're going to get way more people that aren't that than you are that.
Right. Well, it was like, even me and my wife were talking about it the other day. She's an ICU nurse, and I was watching something, and she's like, if I just sat here and watched nursing videos all day, it would drive me crazy. And I'm like, the difference is, like, nursing is pretty uniform in what needs to happen. Like, there's some variations depending on the nurse, whatever. With, like, farming and cutting meat and stuff like that, every single person does it different, more than likely. And it's, when you watch one of those videos, it's like, all right, I'm either walking away with, oh, I really like that, or it's like, all right, that's how he does it, or that fucking idiot doesn't even know what he's doing, but it makes more sense to me now why.
Now I know why he does.
Now I know the right way to do it after watching him be an idiot and do it the wrong way.
I watch a ton of people cut meat, not because I need to learn to cut meat, not because I can't do the job, but because I'm still always actively chasing ways to do what I do better, or I'm just damn interested in how somebody else does it differently. And I think that could be any skill set, you know.
That's my
You're a
thought, too.
welder, you probably you may be a master welder. You probably spend a lot of your time watching other people weld, either to kind of critique it in your head or go, I never thought about that.
Hey, guess what my most popular video, my most viewed video on my whole channel is?
Not getting permission.
Well, that was on Facebook. That was on Facebook. On YouTube, it is how to fix the volume issues on your Jabra 75T Elite headphones.
Yeah, something that you probably never would have.
Not how to
How many people in the world have a pair of Jabra 75T Elite headphones?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Mine started acting up, and I looked for a week to find how to fix them.
Yep.
And I finally found a blog article after a week that told me how to fix them, and I fixed them, and I said, fuck that shit. I looked for a week. Somebody else is looking to figure out how to do this. I'm putting it on YouTube. That video has like 40,000 views now.
Yep.
And probably $30 in super chats because they're $200 headphones.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I mean, you just got monetized.
Like, I already have a
Well,
plan.
yeah, and I just got monetized.
It's like, give it a year.
I those monetized when I made that video.
Give it a year, and those super chats will have bought you some more headphones. You know.
It's like,
well, that's what I think. So here is the other thing: ask your folks that comment on your videos to like your video, subscribe to your video. If you're monetized, ask them for a super thanks. Every time I get a comment on the video, so like I said, they're $200 headphones. Every time I get a comment on the video that says, I loved your video, it worked for me, it saved me so much money, I didn't have to buy new headphones, I write back and say, I am so glad it worked for you. If it saved you some money, consider hitting like, subscribe, or even giving a super thanks. And since I've started copying and pasting that message into my comments every time someone replies, I've probably made $30.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Well, we're getting to the weeds too much more. Lisa made a comment here, and she makes a point. We just kind of jumped right into this. The names are pretty small down there. We got a lot of people on here. Let's go around and introduce ourselves now that we're an hour into the podcast. That way everybody knows who's on screen. We'll start up here. Brian, go. Who are you?
I am Brian. I have the branded name. You can find me everywhere at The Lots, LOTS, L as in lavender, O as in oranges, T as in Timothy, and S as in Samsonite project. The Lots project. James, was that clearer than when you couldn't find me?
Losing his mind. That wasn't military phonetics, but yeah.
If you go to the Lots, if you go to the lotsproject.com, The Lots Project. Yes, you have to put the Lots, LOTS, like the thing you buy when you have a piece of real estate. It's a lot. Lots. Project.com. You'll be able to find everything about me and all our brands. I got 3 St. Bernards. My wife and I are traveling around the country in an RV. I go explore cemeteries. I do crypto. We had a homestead for 8 years, I think. We did a bunch of shit on there that I can help you with.
There you go. I'm Josh, Renegade Butcher. I do podcasts, live stream, online community stuff to do with meat, cooking, spices. I sell spices. I talk about crypto a lot. I'm on a bunch of podcasts. Y'all, you found my channel. You probably know me. Robin.
I'm Robin Holstein, and I am the proprietor of Holstein House Bed and Breakfast. You can either find something under my name, Robin Holstein, or you can find it under the Holstein House, and that's what my podcast is over on Fountain. And I have a Telegram chat under Holstein House, but my YouTube is under Robin Holstein.
There we go. All right, Kyle. Who's the Kyle?
My name is Kyle Peralt. You can find my YouTube channel, my new YouTube channel, at Backwoods Butcher 603. We run a small custom exempt butcher shop up here in northern New Hampshire. We also have a small farm where we raise beef. We're also in the process of breeding some different variations of pigs. I'm trying to do some splice in there. And yeah, basically the content's just going to be me processing different species of animals, different cuts, different breakdowns.
Doing all the fun video shit I should be doing on my channel.
Right. So I'm just going to do it and take all those.
You'll
things.
get there.
There you go. Good.
But,
well, no, I'm cool with letting Kyle do that part. I'll talk more.
Right. But and then again, we're just doing a bunch of projects on the farm itself. So we're going to be doing a bunch of fencing projects. This last one I put out was just kind of a little test run for me, and again, just kind of like, all right, let's see how this goes. And oh, there he is.
No, you can spell it. You got it up to the L-O-T.
Someone take a screenshot.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, we're focusing on doing some rotational grazing, kind of building back our fields and stuff like that. So I'm really just going to try and touch on everything that goes into a farm or raising livestock and processing meat. Because again, it's like I said before, I'm just taking videos of what I'm doing every day. I'm not going out of my way to try and do something for a channel. I'm already doing it. The only difference is now I'm setting up a camera.
Absolutely. All right, James, what you got going on down there?
Sorry, hold on, James.
wait.
Kyle. Do you process mostly beef? Will it be mostly beef processed, or do you do kind of a straight mix of beef or pork?
Right now, it's mostly beef. I actually kind of worked out somewhat of a deal with a customer of mine who was looking for more appointments. And during the summer, at least up here, the door's not being broken down for processing. Okay. It's one of those weird things. Everyone needs an animal process, but nobody wants to do it in the summer.
So we'll get beef, we'll get pork eventually of your own pork or customers' pork, and then do you do deer in the fall?
Yep, we do deer too. So there's going to be some deer videos, black bear videos. Hopefully, nice. I'm going to put some feelers out for some moose. I definitely want to do some moose.
Fantastic, man. That's quality content.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a need for it because there's a lot of content out there, a lot of noise about it, but not a lot of good content that's actually aimed towards teaching people the nuts and bolts of how to actually do this and break it down.
Right.
Because it's really hard to film it and do it.
Right. And there's so much.
What kind of cameras are you using, man?
Huh?
What kind of cameras are you using?
I'm on an iPhone right now.
Just your iPhone?
I have a couple knockoff GoPros that I still need to get the memory cards for them. And it's honestly, again, like you were saying, just do it. I need to go in. I need to find an editing app on my computer to do everything that I'm doing on my phone now. So now it's just the fear of like, well, I know how to do this now. Now I have to learn it all over again. But I'm like, hey, dummy, you're 3 videos in.
Don't worry so much about that. You'll learn it as you go. And guess what? If you have a couple of them that kind of, you'll figure it out. Right. You'll figure it out. Yeah. James, let's not forget you. What do you got going on? What's your channel? And I need to get all of you guys updated down here at some point and get all your stuff in the show notes before I post it on the audio side too.
And I'd want a copy of this to see if I can't maybe put this on my YouTube channel. Did I freeze? You guys froze.
No, you're fine. You're good to go.
You're good.
So the way this started was I was on Toolman Tim's show because he wanted someone who knew something about electric cars, and I have 2 of them. So we go through the whole interview, didn't cover half of what he wanted to cover because we just were riffing. And at the end, he goes, "Why aren't you doing this?" And it was kind of a kick in the butt. And then I kind of dragged my feet because, I needed the iPhone tripod that Tim suggested. So then I got
needed that to press record, right?
Yes, I did. I needed that to press record.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know that iPhone is weird, and you need the tripod to hold the camera so you can get your finger in the right position to hit record. I understand.
Yes.
That's cool.
We've all made this excuse, so we know. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm on a dollar store tripod that I'll take off and screw on to a game camera tripod if I'm doing taller shots.
I'm sitting in a public park stealing Wi-Fi right now, and I'm on 39 episodes of
Yeah,
doing it.
all right.
The cops knock on his
I
door
know
routinely.
I know excuses. I've done it. I still do it, but the trick is to recognize you're doing it.
Right. I knew what I was.
What's your YouTube channel though? You started doing it though. You actually started putting shit out.
My YouTube channel is Gingerbread Farms, and that's just because it's all the random crap I do here. I didn't know what a polymath was until I started listening to Jack, but I've always been one. I can figure stuff out. I can make stuff work. When I have a question about something, I dig deep, I learn about it, and then I just move the heck on. So my channel's going to be pretty random, but I'm not doing it like I'm a truck driver. I make my money driving truck, and I'm not looking for this to replace my income. But what I do want is, like we were talking about, the people who will tell you you're doing it wrong. Sometimes they're not wrong. I'm really kind of looking for those people to start showing up and helping me out with this crap that I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'll tell you right in the beginning of every video, I got no idea what I'm doing. So
stop doing that.
You do know what you're doing, though, dude. You do know what you're doing.
I kid you not. Stop it, because you're talking yourself down. You're cheapening yourself. You know what you're doing. You're just self-conscious about. I do the same thing.
You made biochar. I didn't know what the fuck you were doing. You put it in there. You did it. You took it out. And it was biochar. Like, I didn't know anything about that. You're like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, but you did it.
But you did it. Yeah.
I didn't do it.
And we all learned something watching you do it.
Well, and for me, it was an experiment.
Different.
The thing is everything's an experiment.
It's always
now,
it is.
But now you know that it works.
Like
and now
science
you know
with
what
James.
didn't work. You understood that you need to let it cool down before you expose oxygen to it. Otherwise, this is going to burn. Like, learn that. And
showing those fuck ups and what you learned from it, that's super helpful to people who are watching too. I'm way more likely to watch somebody's content when they're like, this went wrong and here's why. Because I'm probably going to fuck
Why
it up
do you think those thumbnails that say this went totally sideways are the biggest views?
But
I see my first lives were done with, well, actually this laptop, setting on books so that it was high enough that I wasn't doing this. You got to, people have to see your face. They have to think that you're looking at them. You don't want this, you don't want this. So to get
Nostr
up,
can.
there you go. But it was just setting on some books. Then I got a cheap camera tripod from the Goodwill. Found one over there, $3 or $4. Bought one of those little cheap plastic things off of Amazon to hold the phone on. Learned how to do all that. You have more skill than you think. And I don't worry about editing too much unless, like I said, it's the cooking stuff where you don't want to sit there and watch. But so for my live feed, well, I don't care. Because either they're going to enjoy what we're saying or they're not.
And there's also a huge difference between going, I have no idea what I'm talking about, watch my video, and you going into it going, all right, this is what we're doing. Okay, we're going to figure it out. Like, if you watch that last video I put up, you'll watch me sink that new post hole digger straight to the ground and me not be able to get it back.
If you can laugh about it,
exactly.
And they're all the more with
I'm like,
you.
all right,
what did you say in your best, James, you said your best videos so far have been when something gets fucked up, right?
Yeah, when something breaks on the truck.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the ones that get you. So here's the thing: you've got videos that are like, look, I know what I'm doing. I'm smart. I'm an expert on this topic, and I'm here to teach you. And that's great. And if somebody's looking for that information, they're going to look for that and find it. But there's also a place for, hey guys, this is all new to me. Let's see what happens. And that can be exciting and fun, and they learn along. And when things do get fucked up, that's the shit that might go viral. Be like, look at what this guy did.
Yeah,
that's okay too.
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
Now, if you're just out there talking out of your ass and you have no idea what you're doing and you pretend you do, that's how you're going to lose followers or get a lot of bullshit.
Yes, I was
get
getting ready to go there. Yeah,
being like,
I don't pretend I know what I'm doing. Yeah,
right.
but there are people who do, and then
I
you
know.
can tell they don't know where did they.
Well-
and like Brian was saying about cutting audio and video, and you see
Mhm.
people piece something, and you think, wait a minute.
Until it was too constructive.
Yeah, it was. That's not the same cake they were working on
Oh,
before.
man.
Right.
Something's not
Oh,
right here.
I love the
Let's go to
canners that pull out perfectly clean cans right out of
Oh,
the
yeah.
canner. Fall, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that
It's
did not happen.
beautiful when they
You
have
washed
different
all
clothes
those.
on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Well, hey,
Oh,
K-Bonk
I put
actually has-
everything in the canner, and then I went and changed my clothes.
K-Bonk
Right.
is asking over here. Let's see. What did he say? Let's throw this out here. He says next level of 3D printers are coming out, forcing tons of cheap printer prices down. And he wants to create a group of entry-level products like the Black Soldier Fly generators that get the community into 3D printing. In a few months, printers could be under $100. And he asks, is that a good way to get the community engaged in 3D printing for the farm or homestead?
I have a 3D printer.
Right.
I was going to ask K-Bonk if those parts were 3D printed, but if they, I don't know if it's a he or she, were to give me the file, would they want money? And I'd be okay with paying for the file. And I mean, I really got to get with K-Bonk. I'm really interested in
I'm
those
pretty
flies.
sure he sent. Did you send him your address?
Me? No.
Yeah. Oh.
No. I just
thought
sent
it
him.
said I thought that
I
message
thought I
the
saw
other
that
day said
too.
he sent you stuff. I was
No,
like, well, how
I-
did he get your address?
Yeah.
Well, I would say like K-Bot, like start putting videos about it or something. I have
Right,
no idea
absolutely.
what any of that is. It
'Cause
sounds
that's-
interesting.
He's talked a lot about it, but a lot of people are just kind of like, wait, what? What's going on? So yeah, I think maybe if I was K-Bonk and you were actually trying to promote this, and I mean, not even just market it so much, you're trying to get it out there, I would start a Telegram channel about that topic, about 3D printed black soldier fly larva generators. And if you want to open source the files and put them up there, put them up. If you want to sell the files, let me know. We
Hey,
can find a way to
K-Bonk,
help you sell
here's
that.
an idea for K-Bonk. Here's your $1 million idea. So when I was doing microgreens on jute mats in a hydro system, so I designed a whole hydro system that grew microgreens. I was selling them at farmers markets and shit like that. So I was using 1020 trays and 1010 trays in the hydro system. One thing I was really interested in doing, and one thing that I had actually booked a couple customers right before they shut down everything for COVID, was live trays. So basically, I would start them in my hydro system. The day they were freshest, I was taking that tray with the jute mat, taking it to and delivering it to the restaurant live. All they had to do was keep a little bit of water in the 1010 or 1020 that didn't have holes, and those would live for another week just fine. So they could cut them fresh in the restaurant. So what I envisioned eventually, but I got shut down because all the restaurants closed after I had my first purchase order. It was fucking phenomenal timing. But what I wanted to do eventually was make 1010 trays and 1020 trays, molds that would fit into them. I would spread seeds. It was like a pattern. So I could do an X where I would have 4 different types of seeds, and when they would grow in, they would grow in thick in that pattern. But the inserts would have been 3D printed. I actually commissioned somebody to work on them, and then I didn't need them because I had to shut the shit down. But like, you could do all sorts of different patterns. You could do your farm name, initials, that it would just sit in the 1010 tray, and you would sprinkle the seeds in the openings, and they would grow in. So there's your $1 million fucking idea for microgreens.
Yeah, that could really work. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I think if you're trying to really market your black soldier fly stuff,
Get
I
it
don't
out
know
there.
what your goal is. Is your goal to just get the stuff out there and provide the 3D printed stuff to everybody? Are you trying to sell the files? Are you just trying to 3D print it and sell the 3D printed product? Figure out what you're trying to do. But I would start some sort of focused community effort on that. I would probably right now start with a Telegram group, maybe make a YouTube channel about that specifically, and make some videos.
Depending
make
on
some
what you want to do. Do you just want to
Show you.
do black soldier flies, or do you want to do all 3D
all
printing?
the 3D printed stuff? Either way, but figure out what that's encompassing and focus on that somewhere. Because right now I'm seeing a lot of chatter
3D
on
printing group.
Right, I'm seeing chatter in 5 or 6 of our groups, and we're conversations flowing between them all, and I don't have a fucking clue what's going on most of the time, and most of us don't either. I think it's a great idea, and I'd love to see more of it. But I think if there was a place to go, and like a write-up on it or a video to walk,
and here's the deal. It's not for me right now. Like, obviously, I don't have room for a 3D printer. I don't have like to level it, the power, and blah blah blah. Like, I could pull it off, I'm sure. But here's the deal: if I was sitting at home on my homestead still, and that's where I try to picture myself, because that's where 95% of the people in the world are. Like, they don't live in a camper. And
wait, what?
So I think about it, and if I was thinking about getting a 3D printer, I would probably go to Telegram or YouTube, and I would search practical uses for a 3D printer. And if I found a channel that had a black soldier fly larva kit files and discussion and videos on that, like he said, worm bin dividers or microgreen dividers or practical things, not some like little doohickey I can put on my desk and blah blah blah. Practical discussion of things I could use it on the homestead or in my service van, things like that. That's what I would look for if I was going to spend the money on a 3D printer.
Absolutely.
I have the 3D printer, and like what K-Bonk has shown me, that device that he showed yesterday, the pictures, I was going to ask if it was 3D printed, and then also the orientation, because like your layers create ridges, and they may not slide down those ridges. So do you orient the piece so your ridges are pointing down that tube, so those maggots will slide instead of having ridges to? I mean, these are all questions that another 3D
maybe
printer
they
would
need
have.
the ridges to climb
I think they climb up.
because
Yeah, because the idea is they climb up. They naturally go
I
up
looked
around.
into mealworms, and there was a need at some points for ridges for some of the beetles to be able to climb up to certain areas, but then in some other spots you didn't want ridges, so the larva could make it up and the beetles couldn't.
What he showed was a spout that went at the end of the ramp. So I'm assuming you do not want your maggots to be able to grab anything on there, so you'd probably orient it so the layers go in the direction of the spout. And that way,
either way, I think the trouble is there's no clear place to go right now and ask K-Bonk questions about this specifically on it. It's kind of scattered out everywhere else. So I think what he needs to do is focus it in somewhere. He needs a place to point people to go. It needs a home.
Last night,
because I know he's selling it on Nostr too and everything, and it's like, okay, that's great, but you could market it all day you want, but that marketing doesn't do anything if I don't have anywhere to go to ask questions or to get the answers I need. Because I'm never going to buy it if I can't get the questions answered that I have. You know, it's the sales and marketing thing. You can market it all day, but you'll never sell it if you don't actually. You might convince me this thing's going to change my life, great, but if I can't get my questions answered, then I'm not going to spend the money.
Right.
Or I'm not going to pull the trigger. I'm not going to download the file. I'm not going to do whatever, because I still don't know if it's right for me.
So I am interested, and I like I said, I sent K-Bonk the pictures, and then I got radio silence, and I was like, okay, I didn't make the cut, whatever. And like there wasn't a reply in my direct message, so that was kind of a problem. And then, and then really when we started talking about it last night, I mentioned Chris Dixon because he talks about making so much stuff, and I know he's making stuff, and I thought maybe it was him because I have interaction with him, and I know he makes stuff, and I don't interact with K-Bonk very often. So so when it came to something like that, even though K-Bonk's the person doing it, Chris Dixon came to mind because he's active and I know who he is.
Right, absolutely. Well, and that's a lot of it. what if you were in any of these groups right now and somebody mentions something about seasoning, if my name doesn't come up, somebody points me out because
Right.
I'm that guy. You know, if butchery comes up, me or Kyle either pop up or somebody tags us because we're that guy. So if you've got your pet project, something you're working on, you have to build that out and be that guy and talk about it and get out there and focus on that and actually go out and answer the questions and stuff. So yeah.
Shit, I need to start a Telegram. God damn it.
No, stay on Josh's.
You'll be fine
I'm
with
in
it right
too
now.
many.
At least what you're doing is
I
topical.
think if you co-opted Josh's chat, you'd just be fine because it's one topic.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. I built the chat not to be just my shit. You know, it's still Liberty Meat Chat. I didn't change it to be Renegade Butcher. I promote my shit there because I run the channel. But it's about the whole idea when I started it, even before I started the podcast. I started out my consulting as Liberty Meat Solutions. And the idea was for me to get a network of butchers and mobile butchers and educators together around the country so people who are wanting to learn this shit can find a guy to teach them hands-on.
Right.
That's exactly what's finally starting to happen. I've just had to market the hell out of my shit to build that network and get the eyes on it to do that. So the Telegram group and having you there, that's exactly what it's about. It's not just me.
Right.
But
You're making your thing stronger.
But what K-Bonk needs is he needs a 3D printing or a maggot box project. You know, he needs a place for that because right now there's not a place for that. Yeah. You know, 3D.
Well, there might be a 3D printing group that he can slide into where people there are also into homesteading and there's a cross section.
But everybody in this community knows K-Bonk. So if K-Bonk starts up the 3D printed homesteading, you know, collection group or whatever it may be, and he markets that, everybody who's like, no, I know this guy, he's active in the community. He's always in Jack's chat, he's in all these groups. Awesome. Let's go check his shit out. And then that's his place to focus that and to bring in the community. He's already built up all that social credit. Use that.
Right.
You know?
I like it.
Yeah, and you don't want to do too much all at once, Kyle. You're just three videos in.
Right.
Work on that for a little. And I'm not saying like years. I'm just saying work on that for a while.
I absolutely get it.
Then grow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, though, I wanted to ask you though too, Kyle. What you're doing now? Do you want to continue mainly focused on the YouTube thing for now and building those videos, or are you looking to move more into the live stream podcast type thing? Because you don't have to, but where are your goals with that? Where do you see your content going? Because that depends. That changes the advice I'd give you.
I definitely see it more as the YouTube and the content and stuff like that. That's more where I see it. Because if I started a podcast, I don't know what else I would talk about other than what I'm already posting in my videos.
Hey, Kyle. Do you have good internet at your shop?
No, I don't yet. I want to get one of those mesh Wi-Fi systems that I can push it out there.
Okay, I'll save my comments until you have good Wi-Fi at your shop. Josh knows what line I'm going down.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, it's going to involve a stripper pole too.
Yes. It could. Yeah. It definitely could. It would
just
definitely
jack up
viewership.
That's all I need.
That's all I need.
But no, so it's I've definitely, because I've thought about it, and like I was talking to Josh earlier today, and it was like if I was to do something, my thought on it would be kind of in the same vein as you, Brian, where it's like do like a half hour at night of just like what's going on, what happened here today, like what's everything.
Well, I got that from John Willis. Every night, 7 nights a week. And I feel like I slack because I only do Monday through Friday, but every night at 9:00, that dude goes live and he walks around his shop and he says, this is what we did today. You guys want to talk about something? Fucking throw a comment out. The thing might be 5 minutes. It might be an hour and fucking 20 minutes. It might be 6 hours. But you know what? It starts every night between 9 and 9:15, and I know that.
Right.
Yep,
well, I look at it, and it's like I put out that first video, and in the first video, I'm like, I'm really going to try and do one video a week. I've put out a video every single day besides the weekend because I'm doing stuff. And it's like...
You made it a part of your routine. If you can make it a part of your routine, you'll keep doing it.
That's and I'm absolutely going to. And it's I look at it, and it's like, I've always thought, I'm like, I never have the time to do this. And it's like, Yeah, I do. Like, my kids go to bed,
have to
and then
make
I
it.
sit out back here and smoke cigarettes and don't
Sit
do
out
anything.
back and smoke dope and edit video.
Right. And it's like, oh, this is so easy. Like, yeah, I can absolutely just pop a headphone in, put something on TV, and
You mean
toke
it's
up a
not
little
as hard
bit.
as all the excuses that you made you think it was?
Yeah,
You get to
no,
look
it
at your wife
absolutely
while
did.
you
All
do
the
it because
excuses
that makes
I
it
made,
all the better.
Right.
All right, this is dumb.
So the other thing that you're going to want to look at though too is, okay, so you're making the content and you're getting it out there and it's great. You can throw it up on YouTube, but you're also going to hit a point where right now you're new. Right now you've got us all pushing. You got us to go follow this guy, which you guys should. His shit's in the fucking show notes here. Go follow his channel. But eventually you're going to hit that peak. It's going to plateau. And then the algorithm's not really on your side anymore. So it's going to be on you to keep that buzz going and to keep getting the eyes on it, to build that up. You're going to have, all right, if people want to follow my shit, here's where my video's coming out. You're going to put out video announcements. You're going to start working on things like shorts, YouTube shorts. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to hate it. You're going to hate it. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not putting some shit on TikTok, you're stupid.
I know. I
don't have a TikTok.
Make a YouTube account. If you can make a YouTube short, you can make a TikTok.
I know.
And it's super easy to do. And that's the thing. You don't have to get on there and watch a bunch of little dancing girls. But people are on there looking for that content. And it's one of the places that's still...
No.
Well,
it's
like,
dude, I'll send if you get on TikTok, I will send you some videos. Don't worry.
Yoga, there we go.
But seriously, there's it's one of the few places that still actually you can organically grow without having to pay the platform. So
I haven't done TikTok. I don't have TikTok right now, but one of the problems I don't like about shorts is that it doesn't save to my phone. YouTube keeps that video. I don't have a copy of it. So
if you do it on TikTok, there's actually an option that it will save the video. You just upload it to your phone. Or I was telling Brian this the other day. There's a way that you can literally take a TikTok and basically download it with a Telegram bot, and you have the copy.
I'm sure
that's my workflow. Honestly, right now, because you notice, okay, so I do my morning questions in the group. I do the audio question. When I get around to it and I finally get a chance to film a quick video, I put it on TikTok with my morning question shit, which I'm going to circle back to that in a minute. I put it on there with my morning question shit, and then it goes up to TikTok. I download that video from TikTok, and then that goes to YouTube Shorts. That goes to Nostr. That goes wherever else I want to put it. And it's one video that I made, but it goes out everywhere else. And I'll tell you right now, in the time that I've been doing that, between the Telegram stuff and being active with the questions every morning, and Kyle even commented on that the other day on my show, that it's a routine. People get to expect it. It starts the conversation flowing. You notice if it's the weekend and I don't do my question, you're like, wait, something's missing. Josh didn't do his question today. It keeps the audience engaged. And the same thing with those shorts. That keeps getting pushed out, and I get new eyes. I get new people who see my stuff and they go, people don't have a lot of attention span right now. There's so much stuff going on. So they're flipping through and they see these little 30-second clips, 15-second clips. When they see something that catches their eye, because this guy just asked a question that made them think, they go and check out my other shit. And I gain 5, 6, 7, 10, 25 followers a day on a good short. And I never caught any ground doing anything else.
So Josh, you guys have chucked Clapper in the trash?
I haven't. I gave it a little bit of a trial for a while. I just didn't really like it that much, and it was hard for me to use. And I ran out of space on my phone, so I just had to refocus my bandwidth other places where I knew shit was really working.
Right. So. The juice wasn't worth the squeeze for me at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still on my phone, so who knows?
Right. I got something for actually Kyle. Your girls are little right now, but when I started my YouTube channel, within like 3 or 4 days, my 2 boys started their own. And so they've got a head start, and they're watching me make the mistakes and whatever, and they're doing it their own way. But the thing is now, they're not starting at 46. They're starting at 19 and 16, and your girls are even smaller. You know, this is going to be part of their life growing up. Yeah.
And I've already made the conscious decision. They're not really going to be on the
get that.
platform. Like they're not going to be on a lot of the videos. They might be.
They'll
like,
get interested in starting their own though. Just
Yeah.
watching.
No,
Dad
and they
do it.
absolutely will because they're going to grow up in it. But where
Right.
they are at their age now, I'm like, nope, you don't need to be a part of it. Like, I'm very much.
World's a
one of those
weird
parents
place. I wouldn't
where-
be putting kids on it either. No.
No,
I get
I
that,
was
but
gonna
what
say don't.
Yeah.
what I'm more saying is they're gonna watch what you're doing, and they're gonna
Oh, for sure.
they're gonna see what you're doing, and they're gonna see what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and if you can make it almost work, who knows? Maybe you're not the one that goes big, but in 10 years, your oldest daughter goes big at 14 doing some, I don't know, crazy knitting thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's crazy because the way
careful.
we're living in a world now where
Knitting
everything is social media and all its interconnected web
It's
shit.
all changed.
Oh,
part
it's so
of the
crazy.
world.
All of us
We
are on
didn't-
the same screen right now. Like,
Right,
Yes.
right. So if you told me back when I was a kid that this was even going to be a thing or the normal thing or kids were going to grow up in a world where they didn't know what having a computer in their freaking the palm of their hand and instant connection to everybody
Yeah.
around the world was
If
like,
you told
I was
me
thinking
growing
crazy.
up that people would grow up not knowing their daddy, I would be of. I
well,
would have been.
there's that too.
Yeah.
There is that too. But
Well,
so
you
think
need to
about it,
learn
though,
algebra.
The world is vastly different. And
Yeah.
as much as we may not like some of the things that's going on, this is the world those kids have to grow up in.
oh, absolutely.
So it's better to
Yeah.
learn how to do it the right way.
Yeah, you need to learn how to do long division because you won't carry a calculator with you everywhere you go.
You won't ever have a calculator in your pocket all the time. No.
Ah,
No.
those idiots.
You guys
I tell
do.
you- What? Hold on. I don't know how to math,
Nope, still don't.
I just do it in my head.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Hey,
right.
This is more of a probably me and Kyle one here. Quick, Lisa was asking, with all the homesteaders popping up, why is there not more small sheep or goat farmers? Sheep and goat thrive on less forage, require less input. Curious what your opinions are on. My thought is, for one, there used to be a lot, and there was a huge war years ago by cattle farmers because they didn't like the sheep farmers,
Yeah.
and it was hard on the grace. The other side of it is they're not as easy to get a hold of. They're not as available. They're really popular in other parts of the world. It's just not as much of a part of our culture. They're harder to find people to process them for you. So you're going to have to learn how to process it
I
yourself.
don't.
Probably. And you know what? If you've ever owned goats, I hate having a goat. I have one goat.
Is
I
this
don't want
Lisa from the interview show?
what, Lisa Robinson? From
Yeah.
which interview show?
Is this Lisa that you interviewed? Or no? Who was your interview?
Which one?
Your butcher.
Female
friend.
butcher.
No. Why? My brain just shut down. Tiffany, yeah.
Tiffany.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, that's not
I
her. That's
apologize,
not her.
Lisa. I didn't mean to confuse you for a female
No.
butcher.
Lisa's just she's been in the survival podcast community and all different other stuff for a while, and I think she just found my channel a couple weeks ago. So,
Gotcha.
but well, Kyle, what's your
another
thoughts on sheep and goats?
Another hard thing about sheep and goats is they pull roots. Like you can put cows on pasture and they'll self-maintain the pasture. Like if they're just in a 10 by 10 spot, they're going to tear everything up. But if you put them on a decent pasture, they'll move themselves along and just clip the tops of the grass. The sheep and goats, they'll come in and tear everything.
Yeah.
So unless you have a solid, really nice, rotational pasture, it's tough. It's not as easy. Yeah, they're smaller and they'll eat everything, but
I think if you have a small lot, it's probably a whole lot easier to run a couple of sheep.
oh,
You're not,
sure.
But at the same time, it's just not as popular. It's just not as big of a culture thing. If you were in Australia or New Zealand,
Oh,
yeah,
God, yeah.
it's all over the place. But it's not as much of a thing around here. So naturally, I think that homesteading culture, as it's starting, we're seeing a resurgence of it. People are also following a lot of what's already going on. So I'd like to see more people doing it. I think it's a good option for everybody. But I mean, that's probably why we don't see as much of it right now as we do other things.
Even here in Michigan, we have the highest Middle Eastern population outside of the Middle East. And you don't see a lot of goats here, but their culture loves goat. You go to Dearborn, you can buy goat anywhere.
You don't have a problem getting rid of goats if
In
you've got
Michigan,
a big Middle Eastern culture around. No.
No.
And I just had last Saturday. I had Johnny from Rebel Poultry on, and he was talking about that, raising some goats, and how he's like, I'm raising them, and he's using them to clear land, But he's like, I don't know. I guess I'll find out if I like to eat them or not. And I was like, it's pretty much like a deer. You know,
Yeah,
he goes, well, maybe I'll see. He goes, but I know I won't have a problem getting rid of them because I've been talking to folks around here, and you know, you mentioned that you have goats for sale and they're gone.
Yeah.
So it's a great option for some people, but also know what you're getting into. It's not necessarily the easy button. There's a lot of fencing and management, and
It's so much.
Sheep less so, but goats,
Yeah.
Good fucking luck. You know,
Don't call me to cut them.
Kyle hates processing goats and sheep. I don't mind doing it, honestly. I really don't.
Yeah.
But
Honestly,
you know,
it sounds awful every time I say it. My biggest problem with them, they don't die easy. It's always a hassle.
It's true. It's true. They are harder.
Always a hassle.
Why won't you die?
Right.
Well, they're so dramatic.
That's it. It really is it. It's like, all right, like, yeah, I know a shot right to the back of the ear, like right behind the ear, they're gonna drop, it's gonna be fine. But
Good luck taking it.
Unless that goat wasn't fed off the tit, like, good luck being able to get a hold of that damn thing. Like,
I have to. I tether them. I tie them up to a post or whatnot. You can't just walk up to one in the open. You know, your shot that you've got to take is like,
it's
good
awful.
luck. Good. You got a dime sized place to hit at the right angle, and that thing's like a freaking squirrel on crack the whole damn time. Yeah. I know one couple that they do mobile processing, and they more balls than me. It takes a lot of trust because their routine is the one grabs it by the horn and holds it, and the other one comes up and shoots it. And I'm like, yeah, if you're a little off, you're shooting your husband.
Yeah.
But you know, hey, more power to you.
Good life insurance.
Let's see here. What am I missing over here? All right, a bunch of chatter over there. But anyway, back to the content thing. Hey, Robin, were you trying to share a screen down here?
Oh no.
I see. Okay, I see something to add to the stream, and the second one from you. I didn't know if you were trying to share.
No.
Okay, that's
not
fine.
intentionally.
Now I want to share it.
Oh no! I was looking at one of the settings, and I wasn't intending.
Oh, okay. I was like, am I supposed to put that on the screen? I don't know. I kind of want to know what it is before I put it up.
Yeah, there's nothing exciting. There's
I'm
nothing
gonna put it up.
exciting.
Okay.
That's
the opening screen.
It is. That's a shot of my house in right around 1920.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of the ladies that was born and raised in this house brought it to me. She knew my dad, and well, she's still alive, but so she knows my dad.
Were you living there then, Robin?
I was not. That was about a little while before I was born.
I was saying 1920. Wow.
You look fantastic.
What is
Yeah,
You're looking
thanks.
great. You're looking great.
No, I wasn't. I was going to try to put that up a little while ago when I stepped away, but it didn't work. But that's the house, and it doesn't look that much different. The previous owners put some siding on it, but it still has the double windows, still has the porch, and those are the porch columns that were rotting, and we had a big, long
I
story
remember
there.
you talking about that in Tim's group. Yep.
It's still frustrating. I still don't have the porch rails up yet, but
Well, it's
but no, that's what the house looks like.
Gotcha. It's like, what is hanging out down here?
Might even still have the same chickens.
You have the same chicken from 1920?
100-year-old chicken.
Jeez. Holy crap. Give me some eggs. Are they still
Petrified
laying?
They'll be pickled.
No. No, it's not.
Oh shit. Okay, well, so we've talked about a whole bunch of different shit between James and Kyle. You guys got any pressing thoughts, questions?
James, what do you got?
All right. Do you guys have a problem with me putting, like, when I drop a video, dropping a link in your Telegram chats or whatever? Because I don't want to take advantage of, your communities.
No, I don't have a problem with it. I think there's a point where, and it just depends on the individual channel and whatnot. There's a point where it's too much, and you can't let everybody promote every video that they always put out, kind of thing.
Right.
But it's like, if Kyle drops a video on like putting up fence or butchering animals in the meat processing group, that's relevant as fuck. That is content for discussion and everything right there. That is perfect. If you're working on something to do with your truck and you post it up in Brian's chat and it has anything to do with like people who are like traveling on the road and doing shit, it's all relevant to the discussion. Great. Now, if every day
No,
post something up, you have a here's my latest blah blah blah. If you post all of your shorts in everybody else's channels every day or something like that, eventually it's like, okay,
but it also wouldn't hurt to be like, hey, it's live, go over, check it out. Like,
right,
more than likely we're all already
if you're producing a lot of your own content and you're continually doing that, it's probably a good idea for you to have a place to point people to. Be like, hey, if you want to hear about this, even if it's just open a channel and they can follow that, that's great. But then when you make a big video, like especially if it's once a week, I make a nice "this is my thing" video. Most of us, I don't think, give a shit that you posted it up on our channel. We probably are like, hell, half the time that's the only time I know somebody's video came out and I have time to go and watch it, because I follow so many damn people on YouTube. I don't know. I feel bad if I miss somebody's video, but I don't know when everybody's shit comes out. I can barely keep up with all the live streams I watch. So Kyle puts out a video. I appreciate that he drops it over in my channel, because now I get a chance to go see it. When you post a video, most of the time, the only time I even know you posted a video on YouTube is because you posted the link.
Yeah. I mean, I 6:30 in the morning, Robin posts on like every feed I'm on. It's the cut base cut
Robert,
base cut.
pasta. Yep, you're right.
I am guilty of that. It's also a shot of the thermometer.
Yep.
It's not opposed to a live stream. So I
don't live stream, so yeah.
I don't on occasion I'll put the link to the YouTube when I'm putting one up, but usually I just say, hey, I'm live at 10 o'clock if you want to go over. It's Robin Holstein. I don't even put a hot link in there.
Right.
So if that's too much, you guys speak now or forever hold your peace. So. So.
I just think it's funny at 6:30.
Right. If it was too much, yeah. I don't know if it needs to go in every group.
So here's my thing with sharing videos. Telegram groups are weird because we all kind of have a joint community.
Right.
I kind of Telegram groups are a different breed, but as far as other social media, this is kind of the line I play. I ask the group owner if they're cool with it, then rock on. I'll post relevant links in the group. I'm not going to post videos to do with a cemetery in an RV group or an RV video in a cemetery group. So I keep them relevant. If owners are not cool with it and there's a relevant discussion, I will definitely drop a link to somebody in a comment, in a question. If I can share knowledge, I don't give a shit if I'm getting views. It's more helping the person learn what they need to learn to fix their problem. But Telegram is this weird, different community right now. We've all kind of spawned out of the same hatchery, if not the same eggs and the same bloodlines. It is what it is. There's a lot of overlap there. I'm not going to post RV videos in Josh's group.
Right.
Doesn't
make sense for me to post videos about RV stuff or cemetery stuff in Josh's group. But
probably 85% of the same people are in both groups, so they naturally.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing I look at. Like if I compare my member list to Tim's group and Josh's group, they're gonna be 80% overlap. So do I need to post in my group, Josh's group, and Tim's group and Robin's group, or am I putting it to the same people?
Right.
I don't know.
That's
not really for me to determine. I mean, it is for me for my posting, but for someone else,
right?
I mean, if it's relevant to my content, then great.
So it's like for tonight, a little bit different than my normal shit. Normally, if I'm going live, I'll post it up in my group. I spread it out a little bit tonight because I'm like, hey, I'm doing something about content creation. I want to cast the net to people who are content creators and people who are beginning content creators. So I went to my group. I went to Tim's group. I went to the UTG after party group or whatnot, where I know it's going to hit those people. And maybe one person is only in one of those groups are going to see a notification in one of those groups. That makes sense.
Right.
But, I usually, unless it's a special thing or like, hey, I'm doing a giveaway and it's a big thing, I probably don't need to put an announcement for everything that I do in every group. because after
Right.
a while, then
Well-
people will get tired of seeing me if I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Well,
know,
they
but
just turn
if
it
I-
off. They
Right.
don't turn it off. They just ignore it.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing. I don't want to get to be that guy that everybody ignores because I'm always posting.
Well,
shit,
I
you
mean,
know?
there is that. You don't want to
Right,
be the one
you know.
that gets ignored.
You don't want
Right,
to oversaturate.
Yeah,
Well,
right. There's
Like
a balance.
that's why
there.
that,
You
like
can't. You have to
like-
get your shit out there, but you also have to know where the tipping point is. You know.
like you
I
nailed
don't-
it. Like the 80% overlap with it. Like I'll post sometimes like the link in your chat where it makes sense of like, hey, I'm breaking down a hindquarter.
Right.
Makes sense for what we're doing. It doesn't make much sense for me to go over and post it in Brian's because it's like
Right.
Okay.
one,
Yeah.
80% of the people already know it out, and the other 20% are going to be like, "What? All right."
Yeah.
But
then if you're doing,
I'm also a cognizant curator of my group, and if we're having a discussion about, hey, somebody just bought a head of cattle and they're trying to break it down themselves and they're not sure on the hindquarter cut down, I curate my group and I know my connections well enough that I will go grab your link from your fucking YouTube channel and I'll post it in my group.
Post it over.
Right.
you'll do that.
I have
or you'll,
no problem
or you'll tag my
posting
group.
other
Or you'll
people's links in my group.
Yeah,
Not at all.
no, absolutely. It's when it's relevant. That's really the thing. Yeah.
Well,
it's-
so here's where I chickened out. I don't even know what group it was in, but someone started posting videos of this skinny chick splitting logs with a ball. The
Yeah.
funny thing is they started doing that 2 hours I went live, 2 hours after my video went live of me and Quinn splitting wood with a review of a new splitting wedge I got. And I didn't post it out because I think it was in Tim's channel, and I don't know Tim well enough to start putting stuff in his channel. You know what I mean? So I was like, I won't put it there. I'm like, if
What's
you
the
want to
worst
watch
that's going to
Split
happen?
Wood,
Is
I
he
can
going
do
to
it.
apologize to you? Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, James, I'm sorry.
Oh,
James, you have to-
James, I'm gonna have
You
to tell you,
James.
you're gonna have to take that video down. I'm sorry to have to tell you that that the girl with the titties was splitting the wood, and you put your thing with your kid, and it just wasn't jiving. So I'm gonna have you take it down, and maybe if you accept my apology and I say sorry enough, you'll come and bring it back and put it up next week.
You're
Yeah,
going to have to
but-
pay syrup tax and put you a big old bottle of bourbon back there in my garage if you really want to keep posting your stuff.
I'm going to take you out behind the woodshed, James, and we're going to show you how we do business up here in Alberta.
And-
well,
No,
and
it's
I have
terrible.
a tendency to put my foot in my mouth, which I think I did in the SRF channel, because
That's
I
talent.
asked if I'm like, hey, is anyone in Michigan? But I just said, am I? And then someone replied, do you mean
I saw
Michigan the
that.
state,
I
or do you
saw
mean
that.
military intelligence? And I said, there's no such thing as military intelligence. And then I looked at his name, and his name was Signal Corp. And I'm like,
Well,
that was the wrong guy
Here's
to
the
say
thing
that
about
to.
John's groups. John produces tactical military gear.
Yeah.
James, you're honestly, I'm going to be totally honest with you right now. 90% of the problems that you have with Telegram and shit is because you overthink shit and you worry too much.
No one
Oh,
gives
imagine
a shit
that.
what you said.
Worrying about
No one- He doesn't give a shit that you
No,
said that. He
right.
probably giggled.
And guess
Yeah.
what? Anybody that is actually, you know this better than any of us. Anybody who actually is military has no problem with someone talking shit. They can
Well,
take
yeah.
it. Don't worry about
If
it.
you know who they are, and if you know that, so
They'll
does
get
he
over
know that I'm prior military, or does he think I'm some geek just talking shit?
He
He'll
probably
figure it
doesn't
out real
care.
quick.
But you
He'll
got
figure it out real quick when he talks to
Yeah,
you for about
you
2
got-
minutes.
you got to
Right.
build. You got to toughen up your skin for a Marine. You're gonna have to toughen up your skin because
Don't
Quit being such a
overthink it so
bitch,
much.
you could end up with Bozo. Bozo could show up on your channel.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
Or
He- I
Afro
was
the
there.
Next.
I was there.
Does your vagina hurt, James? Does it hurt you? Where did the comment hurt you,
All right.
James?
So
Just
it's easy to tell. Believe me, I'll tell someone to fuck right off if I'm not trying to
With
get
you.
myself into a community. And
you're already in the community. Don't
Yeah, you're
worry
already
about it.
there.
You're okay,
If
dude.
you're
I'll
already
vouch,
there,
I'll vouch for you
Here's the
upside
thing.
down and inside out. If anybody says, what the fuck is up with this James asshole? I'll be like, dude, give him a break. He's
The
just
thing
Stop
is a
being
little
mean to
off.
my friend.
he's a little off. Don't worry.
The thing I
We
love
all
about
are.
these communities, and it's going to be the same thing that 90% of these people in this community, and the reason they're in this community to begin with, feel the same way.
Right.
We're all
Because
autistic.
we're all authentic. We're real. We're doers. We get shit done,
Oh,
and
you
we
said
are ourselves.
authentic. I said autistic. We're all-
Autistic, authentic, same thing, you know. But no, think about
We
it.
need to get Quinn up here.
Every
Yeah, like
single one of
Quinn,
us.
Quinn will fit right in. You talk
Right.
you talk about him. I'm like, dude, you should get a podcast every morning from 6 to 6:30.
Exactly. Every single one of us, though, what we're doing shit. We talk about shit, and guess what? We're probably fucking assholes. I'm an asshole.
I'm an asshole.
I will fucking tell
Yeah.
somebody off. I will tell people things they don't want to hear, and I have no problem with that.
Yep.
But people seem to fucking like it because we don't have enough of that in the world these days. Don't go around and worry about trying to cater your message to what somebody else wants to hear. Be you, be yourself. And if somebody doesn't like you, they can fuck off and block you. That's just what it is.
That's
Yeah.
the great part about putting content out there. No one has to watch it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
I-
the people who do watch it will become your rabid fans because they appreciate the fact that you don't give a fuck about what some asshole doesn't like about you.
Rabbit
Right.
fans?
Maybe.
I still need a buck. But
Rabbit, Mr. Lost Project over there.
it's just it's hard to explain. Yeah, do I have we've covered some
Are you
of
shy,
my
James?
psychological issues in depth.
Are you shy?
Yeah, I'm shy. I'm
It's
shy.
okay.
I'm on the internet with you five, okay? I'm
Right.
shy.
I think we're going to
exactly.
have a good time at SRF.
We
I'm
let
not
you
sure.
be here. We let you be here for a reason. So stop overthinking it so fucking much.
I'm not a threat. Don't worry about me.
But you know, it's
Robin will
hey,
just pray for you. Don't
I've
worry.
been
Hey.
telling Kyle this. I've
And
been
sell
telling
sex
Kyle
on the
this
internet
how
for
long, right?
sex.
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that.
So
You know what,
when
James? That's a
Kyle
little too
first
far.
showed
Why don't you go ahead and get out of this chat now? All right. It all came true. It all came true. Yeah.
You've got the poll. They've got the.
I've got
They've
a
got
He
poll.
doesn't have internet.
They've
Time
got
and place.
But they're
the
going in
chat
fishing in
room.
the dark out here now. When Kyle first came on my show, he was talking about this though too. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know if I want to start making a YouTube. I don't know if I want to start putting my stuff out because he's all worried about this and that and the editing."
Is that a
and-
Punisher
It's
tattoo
so
on
dumb.
your arm?
Look again, 3 videos in, and I'm like, that was the dumbest thing in the world.
Right,
for me to
right.
ever
So
think.
get out of your own head and just fucking go do it.
Right.
And it gets easier. But that's the thing. Until you actually
Wow.
take that first fucking step,
Do you have tattoos?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is that a Punisher tattoo on there? No, on the
No,
forearm.
it's actually the logo. Yeah. Right
the
there.
logo from what?
Yeah.
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 It's
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's a logo from the podcast Legion of Skanks, the world's most offensive podcast.
Nice.
I've
Pretty
heard of
good.
that.
Stink.
I
What is
saw
it?
it in- I
I've
saw
heard
it
of it. No,
kinda
Skanks.
in the
Yeah.
background, and I was like, "Is that a Punisher tattoo? That's kind of
No, it's not. It's not.
It doesn't all make sense anyway.
I
It all
promise.
makes
It's
sense
so much worse. It's an obscure podcast that no one's heard of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Did
I
you
got-
do it with a thumbtack in
No,
prison?
I actually.
Okay, could
so
be worse.
I got this an hour before a live show. My wife bought me for my birthday tickets to go see like one of the main guys in the podcast. He was at Caroline's right on Times Square. So like we took a bus down to New York City for the weekend, got an Airbnb. It was fucking terrifying. And then an hour before the show, I was like, I want to get a tattoo. She's like, all right. And I walked
guys-
into
you guys
some
wanna hear a
random
really good
tattoo
tattoo
shop in
story?
Hell's Kitchen and paid
Oh, in Hell's
$80
Kitchen?
to a guy with a teardrop tattoo.
Nice.
Tattoo this on my
Nice.
forearm. And
He could have done it with
guys
a
wanna-
thumbtack then. Yeah. He could.
I'm at the show hammered, and my wife's pointing my arm like, look at it. And one of the other guys on the podcast goes, oh, look at that, a skank face. A bloody, disgusting skank face. Okay. Because it was just the saran wrap over it. It was all pooling up, and my blood was so thin because I was just hammered. Yeah.
Nice.
If you show up to SRF with a Renegade Butcher fucking tattoo on you, man, I'm gonna never give you any end to the shit.
So
you know where it's gonna go right
That would be
above.
frightening.
I guarantee it will.
It's
I
gonna
guarantee
go
it
right
will.
there.
I can get it
I'm gonna make you show it to everybody.
I will. Yeah.
No.
I'll wear. Like I said, I'm gonna get it tramp stamp style, and I'll just wear a cutoff t-shirt the whole
Tramp
weekend.
Oh, that's sexy. Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna get it right above my pubic area in the front. The
Nice.
Renegade Butcher, like with the logo.
So when you're in your Speedos, people can see it.
But it'll be
So
just
when I
the
wear
upper
my
half.
crop top, it comes up above my jean top.
Yeah.
Oh no! Do
Peeking
it
over.
by your belly button, and then braid your belly hair like his beard.
Ooh, I like
Oh
it.
no! It's
Oh
going
my
to-
God,
it's
that's the
going to
best
be a braided
idea.
Beard. It's not going to be my belly hair.
My belly button will be the mouth, and the little treasure
Well,
trail will be
the worst-
And then the
beard.
braid,
The worst part of that is I can still do that as a tramp stamp. I'll just braid my lower
Oh, there you
back.
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
Actual hair.
No, it's a 3D tattoo.
Exactly.
Kyle's got a tail.
This
What
is
is that
terrible.
tail?
This
Oh,
is
my wife will come up and just twirl. I'm like, get up my horse
That's
tail.
my beard.
Get
That's
outta
my,
here.
that's my tattoo beard.
Yeah.
Oh,
My wife braids it for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, it makes me so mad. I'll lean over like in bed. I'll be in bed and I'll lean over to the bedside table to get something. She'll just come over and like curl it like spaghetti and just yank.
She'll give you
Get
a
up my
slick
horse
willy,
tail.
won't she?
Christ.
well, if she's gonna ride. She better pull your hair.
Exactly. And I don't
Does
have
she
any up
shampoo
here,
her
so
for
she's
you?
got to find it somewhere.
Right, there you go.
All right, so to jump back to what Brian said about having a great time at SRF, that was honestly, besides Josh pushing me, that was the like straw that broke the camel's back of me jumping on it, is because you said it to me where it's like, all right, do you just want to go to SRF as just a guy, or do you want to start like a podcast or a YouTube channel? And all of a sudden now you're just not a person there.
Show up. What's up?
You're
with
a
the show
person
for
that
it? Yeah.
people are following. Like they follow your stuff. They know you.
Or they have something to follow when they meet you. You can point
Right,
to go,
or-
hey, look, if you go check out my shit because I'm actually doing stuff.
right.
That's it. When somebody
the big one.
somebody walks up to you and says, "Hey Kyle, hey, you're Kyle. What the fuck do you do?" He's gone, but
yeah.
I want to be
Oh,
able to say, "Hey, I'm Brian from the Lost Project. If you want to check me out, go listen to my podcast or go to my website or go
Right.
to my YouTube channel or go to my Nostr account." I want to be able to hand them something, a body of work. I don't know if that necessarily makes you more legitimate, but it makes you it gives you something to showcase yourself.
You can get Speedos too. No. But there's bikinis. That's right. And boxers.
What if you
Really?
put them
Oh
on backwards?
no! I don't need leggings. I need
Josh,
the
what if you
Renegade
put 'em on
Butcher
backwards?
tattoo.
I mean,
Yeah.
what you do with my face is up to you as long as you pay me.
Oh, so
No, but he's absolutely right about the content. Because if you think about it, if you've been to an event like this and you meet somebody and you meet a bunch of awesome people, and not at all knocking on somebody who doesn't make content or doesn't have a website or doesn't sell a thing, but who do you remember? Who do you remember when you're there? Who the people you can go and follow their shit after the event? Because you meet people, you make a bunch of friends, and I guess what? I met 700 people at Float Fest. You know the ones that I keep up with, the ones who I follow their podcasts, I follow their YouTube channels, I follow them on Telegram or whatnot because they could point to something, a way for me to keep track of what's going on in their life.
Right.
You know, yeah.
well, I'm going because Brian pushed me. I was sold before they had the tickets out, and the classes. I'm just going to meet you guys.
Okay,
The
so
classes
here's
are
the
That's
deal.
a huge part of it for sure.
The
That's
first
raw.
year I went, I was solely interested in going to hear the speakers. I went
Right.
to every single one. I went through the schedules. There's 2 different stages. I went through the schedules. I made sure I picked the right ones. I had them listed. I had the thing in my hand. Every 20 minutes, I was checking what's coming next, where I got to be. Do I got to be at this stage? Am I going to that stage? The second one I went to, I didn't even look at the schedule.
Yep.
I
Yeah, I'm
heard
not.
who was talking. I walked by. I caught certain people. Ken Berry is very motivational to me. When they have a round table with Jack Spirko, Tim, John Willis, and Billy Bond on stage at the same time answering random questions for the audience. It's a good time to go fucking watch the stage. I'm not stupid, but
well,
I can also get video recordings of all of the events. I can also go and access the people that just talked on stage in a one-on-one or a two-on-one or a five-on-one conversation. And so I took the opportunity to network with people, to talk to people, to walk around, to interact. And this next time I'm going, I'm very much contemplating getting a table or a booth outside and sitting in one place and letting people come to you.
Yeah.
See, what I would like to do, first off, I want to get my ass kicked by Joel's dogs. You better believe I'm jumping in there.
Oh, and we can make that happen. Don't worry.
I'm doing that for sure.
Yeah, I'm doing it too. But
I'll send him a message right now and tell him I got 2 volunteers for fall SRF to get just destroyed.
Be careful, Kyle, because you're gonna smell like meat.
Yeah, no, I will go straight from a butcher demonstration and put on a bite suit and have them both just go on each arm. Go for it. That is YouTube material.
Yes, it is pretty impressive to watch. His dogs are very.
The initial hit is the most dangerous part.
Yeah, it's
because they're trying to take you down.
Strong.
No, it's crazy. As soon as I knew that was a possibility, I was like, I was so.
It's quite an adrenaline rush just watching. I can't imagine being in the suit.
Gee, I wonder what it's like to get in a fight. But.
Oh yeah, okay. Is that the same thing? I think it would be even more adrenaline pumping knowing that you have no recourse.
No, I've deployed with military dogs.
I get jacked up and I'll pop.
I know how to fight a man. Fighting a dog? No.
I've deployed with military dogs. I'm kind of I'm not a handler. That's why, like I was talking to you, we need to get it with John about making harnesses, especially now that I've got a big dog. I mean, we literally had these harnesses that these dogs were 150 pounds, and the handler would wear them like he was carrying a pistol so he could rappel and parachute.
Crazy.
And then he just grabbed it and boom, dropped that dog, and that dog was like a missile.
Corey and I have talked about talking to John to get harnesses made for our boys because we can't find them big enough and strong enough. That was the thing. Strong enough because we can get a harness big enough, but we latch them to a cable and they'll like Walter pulled the loop right off his cable.
Well, that's kind of what my dog is for. You know, that's why they exist. Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna while we're here, I see we got 6 people in there watching. If y'all could go hit the like, that'd be awesome. Just tossing that out there. Thank you guys. Please do.
But I mean, I want to get in there. I'll help you guys cut meat. I'll be your little freaking bitch cutting meat. I mean,
there's always a place for volunteers.
I need to take a shower. Will you help me with that? Will you scrub me?
I'll piss on your face.
And Kelly, it's raining, right? Yeah.
Oh, that was a couple podcasts ago, wasn't it?
Right. Well, I'll say, I haven't been to SRF.
Don't piss on my head and tell me it's raining, all right? Just tell me you're pissing on my head.
But events like this, there's a lot of carryover. And I'll tell you that the float fest that I did 2 years in a row, the first time I just showed up thinking, I'll do some trading. I didn't know what this thing was about. And I tried to go and watch some of the demonstrations and stuff, which was good. Second year, I was like, I'm vending. Well, I was fed 700 people, and I was the only place doing not the only place, but starting out, I was like the main place doing barbecue. So I was busy the whole fucking time, from sun up to sundown, every single day. I snuck away and caught the last half of part of Jack's talk. Thankfully, that got recorded, and I got to go back and watch it. But, I didn't feel like I missed out on anything. Because did I get to watch Jack? Did I get to watch all these other people? Did I get to watch all these big names that showed up? No, but I fed every one of those motherfuckers. And while I'm cooking their food, they sat there and they talked to me. Right. And they came back and we hung out and we bullshitted. And then when I closed down, we all went down to the old bar tent for 3-4 hours. We sat around and we bullshit. And you know what? When you feed people, they get pretty fucking happy. So I made a lot of good connections and we got to network. And that was awesome. And for me, that was the best part. Now I look at it after having done that, going into something like SRF. I'm like, that's great. I kind of want to dabble in that again, but I also kind of want to just show up and be able to walk around and be there and not have to be tied in one place. So it's a balance, but I totally get what Brian's saying about having a table and a place to vend, having something for people to circle by.
Well,
because you're going to get a better chance of meeting everybody that way.
Right. I was talking to, well, you have a better chance of connecting with the people that want to connect with you.
Right.
And I want to connect with everyone. So if I can make it more valuable to sit in one spot and connect with the people that are actually interested in talking to me, then that's worth my time even more. Like, I'm not saying it's not worth my time if I can't mingle, but there is a chance that the people that I should connect with, that I need to connect with, are walking around the building in front of me.
Absolutely. Do you think if I wasn't the guy that happened to be just sitting there cooking meat, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to have multiple 3 to 4 actual like vegetarians or vegans come up and talk to me unsolicited? They came up and talked to me, and guess what? Every single one of them left the conversation a friend. Several of them actually decided I'm okay with eating what he cooks because I understand his ethics.
Right.
We had good, even the ones who didn't. We're not going to agree that. Okay, we had a good conversation, figured out we had more in common than either of us thought coming into the conversation. And both of us left a little bit more educated on the other person's view by the time the conversation was done. That would have never happened if I was just walking around aimlessly. Whatever. I'm not going to walk up to a guy, you look like a vegetarian. Let me tell you about the gospel of meat.
Right.
Come on over here.
Here's the best part. I talked to Nicole, and she's like, yeah, so a table is X amount of dollars for the weekend. Outside, inside, I got all the lowdown. She's like, and you can split the tables. So I might be interested in splitting a table with somebody and kind of co-hosting that table. If there's somebody I want to see speak, maybe they kind of man the table. And if somebody comes up and wants to talk to me, they hand them my business card and say, hey, he's going to be back in a half an hour. He wanted to go see that guy talk. Right. Or if the other person wants to go see somebody, I'm going to man the table for them. Or if we got 3 people, we kind of split it up. Like, there is all sorts of that stuff going on in SRF. And the other nice part about it is bring what you want to sell. You wanted
to put up half a table of seasoning or something like that, and you didn't really want to dick with a whole. Yeah.
Well, that's where
But you got somebody to stand there and watch it for you. You're not tied to that table. Like,
you got to have a helper if you're.
I want to go see. I want to go see Joel Salatin talk. Well, yeah, so does everybody. Well, maybe somebody doesn't. Maybe somebody will cover. Maybe somebody in that group will cover the table, or we pack the shit up and lock it up.
Or we got 35 people walking by, and I've really got to go take a shit right now. I'm sorry, that happens. It happens.
You're full of shit.
In real life, you know.
I know it happens. I've done all kinds.
Put your advertisement in the shitter.
Yeah, I've done all kinds of these. Not the SRF ones, but I've done all kinds of booths and things like that. And yeah, you need someone to relieve, unless your booth is like nothing but pens and notepads, and it doesn't make a big deal. But yeah, and the benefit of that too is that the many come to the one. They don't have to chase you down.
Right.
You know, while you're wandering and mingling and shaking hands, the many can come to you in one location. So,
well, Josh, that's where I think you and me could have like a pretty cool kind of situation there. I've never been to a festival like this. I don't really know how it works, but like, if
I don't think there's another festival like this.
No, probably not.
There may be similarities, but everyone's different. Yep.
But like, if we were able,
because they're all autistic.
Because again, we have 6 months to figure all this stuff out, and it's like, if we could figure out something of, even if it was just like a demo or something, or I honestly think it would be kind of funny and kind of cool if we did like a race setup with 2 pigs, 2 different styles.
So this is definitely going to be a topic of conversation. So I decided I'm going to probably go over and see Nicole at some point before we leave Tennessee.
Yeah.
This spring. I'll shoot it at her. I'll be like, why don't you guys, you got all these butchers coming. They all got big dicks. They want to swing them around. I mean, they think they all have big dicks. They want to swing them around. And
Robin's
so
gonna judge.
maybe we hang some pigs on Friday, have an open call for anybody that thinks they can break down a pig, and we do some sort of contest, and then we cook the shit for profit over the weekend.
Well,
or
there may be a
to
need
go to
slaughter and
SRF
chill
over
some
the
pigs
weekend, or
before a breakdown, and I don't know yet. I'm not promising anything, but there may be a potential need or opportunity for me to go down a few days early now.
Okay.
So it may make sense if somebody's got pigs for me to roll
I
down
know
a little
somebody
bit
that has
early.
pigs in the area.
Yeah, so if we can figure out a way to like refrigerate a couple of pig carcasses, I could always show up, do the slaughter one day. We could even potentially do a filming of some of that for educational purposes.
Yeah.
And then actually Friday, we could have a live butcher breakdown type thing. And then that could be cooked, roasted. I mean, this is all preliminary, but there's ideas. Now we got 6 months to figure it out. So
We don't even know how we're
Exactly.
getting there.
Well, that
Well,
was
where
my
we're
point.
staying.
Was
Right.
if you want to
I
figure
haven't
it
got
out,
tickets yet.
now is the time to start talking about it.
It is.
Not
it is.
Exactly.
in September, not
No,
in the middle of
the
September.
logistics
when
need to
you're
get
like,
figured out now. But
I
for
started
sure,
the countdown on the Telegram,
I saw that.
and I brought it
Oh,
up to
shit.
Brian, and then I was like, "Fuck Brian, I'll do it myself."
I'll do it. Exactly. There you go. That's the attitude you need.
That's
Fuck Brian,
what
I'll
we
do
need.
it myself. Exactly. I'm an independent, grown ass man. I don't need no Brian. I can take care of myself. Oh shit. Well, guys, we ran over 2 hours now. I'm gonna have to get stuff wrapped up if I want to get this audio uploaded before I roll back. So
I
let's
got to
go
work
around
at
the
2
horn.
a.m.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's go around the horn. We'll start with Brian again, and let's if you got any final thoughts, then tell us who you are, where to find you, and we'll do this again, I'm sure.
my name is Brian, and you can find me at thelotsproject.com. You can look at the screen, LOTS projects.com.
I'm Brian, and I'm a podcaster.
My name is Brian, and I have a podcast. In my podcast, you can. It is raw and kind of off the cuff. I just kind of do my thing, talk about my life and my thoughts and aspirations and dreams. And then we also have a YouTube channel, all sorts of social media stuff that we talk about our 3 St. Bernards, and I like to hang out in cemeteries and all sorts of other fun stuff. You're just going to have to check it all out. thelotsproject.com. Thank you.
I'm Josh. You can find me all my stuff at renegadebutcher.com. You can follow my podcast, join the Telegram group. You can find all the links up there and everything. So I do audio questions 5 days a week in the group. I put out shorts on all the social media platforms. Follow me over on Nostr. That's been cool as shit. And if you got questions, pop in. Find us in Telegram. That's where you can ask all the fun shit from everybody here in this chat. Robin, what you got?
Oh, yeah, I'm on Nostr, too.
Yeah, I think we're all on Nostr now. I think
Yeah,
we're all migrated our way there.
Well, I'm Robin Holstein. I start my podcast out as I'm the West Virginia woman of robinholstein.com and Holstein House, where my guests get a good night's sleep at a fair rate plus breakfast. But I run an Airbnb out of my house and have direct book out of the house. I'm on all the major social media sites. I prefer YouTube at Robin Holstein and Fountain .fm, which is the Holstein House podcast. I am also on Nostr, and I've given my public key to Josh to put up in the show notes. But yeah, I focus on Airbnb type stuff or B&B type stuff, society and cultural issues. I'm in West Virginia, and I talk about the society and cultural issues affecting families in West Virginia and the United States, and sometimes across the world, because I do have a couple people from like South Africa and the Philippines. So we talk about food preparation, storage, home repairs, current events, stuff like that.
Cool.
My name's Kyle. You can find me on YouTube at wait, now I need to think about it. At Backwoods Butcher 603. We're focusing on animal processing, beef, pork, lamb, deer, all the critters, and also everything that goes into it. Building fence, running electric lines, just kind of everything that goes along with it. If I find something that's going to be interesting going on around the farm, I'll tape it. I'll put it up. We'll kind of put a spotlight on it and just kind of grow it from there. I am more than likely to make a Facebook page for the YouTube as well, but you can follow me on Facebook.
We will be making a web page for his content.
Yeah, that too. Listen, I'm learning. You could also find me piggybacking off all the hard work that Josh has done so far on the Telegram chat. And yeah, I'm figuring it all out. We're in the process. We'll get there. I promise. I'm on Nostr as well. My pub keys and the billboard on there too. So, and I'm only in it because Brian gave me free lightning. That's all. That's the only reason I'm in it, is because Josh
bullied you into it.
And then you forced me into it.
Peer pressure.
Yeah. When you just give people money, they learn how to use it. So yeah.
Right.
All right, James, what you got?
I am James. I have a YouTube channel that is Gingerbread Farms. My email is gingerbreadfarmsmi@gmail. I'm in all these guys' Telegram channels. My YouTube channel is random. It is what I come up with, what I'm doing, if I think to grab a camera. And I'm just doing it right off an iPhone with no editing or minimal editing on the iPhone itself. What I'm really interested in seeing is Kyle splicing a pig. Is that like grafting a tree? It'll be interesting.
Splicing a pig?
You said you were splicing pigs earlier.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Just
is
with
that
the
like
different
you're a
breeds that
butcher?
we're working with.
Yeah.
It's going to be a chimera pig.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
gonna
right down the middle.
Cut it down the middle which way? Do you cut it
is it
laterally?
Lengthwise or front to back? Or?
Yeah.
It's top to bottom. It's got the legs of one.
Right.
Yeah, or quarters. I don't know.
Maybe at an angle, like it's 45 degrees of each.
Oh, that would be cool.
Brian, what is happening? Are you looking at like an LED butt plug or something? Like your face is just like.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. He's got one of those ring lights that does different colors, and he's fucking with it.
Right.
I put my ring light on random, and so it's just going through all the settings of all the different colors.
He's got a
how high are you?
Not high
Rob,
enough.
what part of West Virginia?
I can't do anything fun.
Robin K-Bach wants to know what part of West Virginia.
Kanawha County.
Okay.
Are you near the biggest teapot in the country, supposedly, but the one in Navasota is bigger?
Yeah, well, I haven't seen them side by side to know, and all my life I've been told that that's 6 inches. So
I don't think anybody's seen them. Who's moved the teapot to 7?
No, actually the story behind that is real quick. Is that the pottery company that moved across from Ohio to that, but no, it's about depending on which direction you go, it's about a 2-hour drive for me.
There you go. Had no idea. Didn't know I needed to know about a big teapot, but hey,
no.
There we go.
It's like really big.
I'm not a little teapot. I'm a big
Chester. I think it's in Chester. I'm not sure. It's up.
Josh is on a stakeout.
Yeah, right. Shit. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody hanging out. This was just kind of a random last-minute episode. Turned out great. Great time hanging out with everybody. The comments have been lively as hell. So I'll get this all uploaded. I'll try to get everybody's stuff dropped in there. Do me a favor in the next few minutes. I saw Robin already did. Brian, I know I already got your stuff. Kyle, I've got yours. James, shoot me your I know I've got it, but shoot me your YouTube stuff over in Telegram or something. I'll try to get it included in the notes here quick. And we'll catch you all over in the Telegram groups.
Thanks for the invite.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Everybody
for showing up. And we'll have to do this again sometime, guys. This was fun.
All right.
That was fun.
Okay.
All right.